Where's my coffee? Ooh. That's. God, I fucking hate the fucking goddamn iPad thumb scanner thing. Especially with my fucking weird hands. It just don't work. There we go. Alright, let me suck down this coffee. And then we'll begin. I was totally not late by 3 minutes or so. Why are we zoomed in, dude? There we go. Took a couple notches there. Perfect. Oh, all right. All right. We are here. We are present. Somewhat. Somewhat present. Oh, I don't have a controller plugged in. Oh, God. What the fuck? What is happening, dude? Oh. There we go. Alright, controller is plugged in. It's a totally fucked up controller, but it is what it is. Hiya, ladies and gentlemen. Hiya. How are you this fine evening? Oh my god, my face feels like swollen. My eyes are screaming at me because allergy season is present. I was overheating for a hot minute. My feet hurt like hell. How are you? How is your day, man? Ladies and gentlemen, today was a last minute, and we're going live. Let's hang out. Still not a very, not what I hope the streams will be eventually. Hopefully the streams will fucking tighten that shit up, and we'll just not kill it. We'll just kill it, knock it apart. Why his... Oh no, you guys are hearing something. Oh, the fucking stupid... Gosh, give me a second. When I plugged in a new thing, the game was like, this is your new permanent, sound? No, it is not. Idiot. God damn it. Stupid thing. This. No, it was my fucking speaker thing. There we go. Sorry about that. Not sure if it was jarring, but yeah. Anyways, we're good. Also, sorry for my hair looking, wet. Yes. What's good, Hassan? Hassan says, how's it going? How's it going, Hassan? Kind of like a quick stream jump in thing. I don't have anything planned. I don't have anything to do. I know I should be telling you this. I should just kind of be, doing. It doesn't need to be said. Okay. But yes, today's been a little rushed. Just got in. I'm very tired, but let's see what we can do. What is important? Actually, I didn't want to see if we could make any more of a dent, despite I don't even know what to do besides grind. Yeah, I just need to jump through save file land enough to where I can find an ability scaling ring that's not the worst, because I think that will make that one build okay. It won't be the best, but it'll be fun, hopefully. Although granted, I still haven't tested that out. Sure, that's something we could just do real quick. I want to see what the hell how the hell the Roid spell thing works with our Krieg build. I don't think it'll be great just because I haven't heard anything about it. And usually people are like, this is something ahead of time, but I haven't heard anything, so we'll see. Also, sorry. Hello, Lone Syndicate. Hello, Hans. Hopefully everyone is having a lovely day. Lone Syndicate says, late, how dare you? As well as hello, by the way. Hello, Lone Syndicate. How's your day been? How was your Tuesday evening? Yeah, a little bit evening. 1 hour evening. Actually, for people in the US side of things, actually, that probably works out just right. Yeah. I was thinking if you get off work at 5, then it takes you time to commute, and that's that for you in US land. I think it's 1 hour ahead. So you guys at 6. So that's enough time to get home, get ready, and then I burst through the stream, be like, hi, yeah, we're doing things. Yes, productive things, sure. Anyways, let's see. Let's see. Oh, also, I could make the Krieg even better because I forgot I never really had a primordial version of the Guns with Wings bit of business, which now I do. Oh, shit. Also, I think it's times 2, too. But yeah, also, a little bit of a phoned in, looks like it says 2 hours ahead, GRINN. Oh, wait, I'm 2 hours ahead? Really? Yeah, I thought for me, if it's 5, for you guys, it's 1 hour ahead. So yeah, so for me, I thought it was 1 hour ahead. So I thought you guys are at 6, and when I'm at 5. Are you saying, when I'm at 5, you're at 3 or something? 4? Yeah, I don't know. I always see the conversion to like Mountain Time versus like CT something. Yeah, it's like seemingly whatever it else is, like California, US kind of scaling. But yes. What did I want to look at? Oh, we have to go back to our place and find the thing. We have to go to this. Also, that the reason why I stream is called No Expectations is because I have nothing that I haven't. Okay, let me tell you guys what's happened. All right, I have not played Wonderlands for probably like the last time we played it on stream, which is like two days, 2 days, Monday and Sunday. So we haven't played any video game, any. I haven't watched any show, any. I haven't really watched any YouTube videos, any. I've just been marathoning through my book. Finally finished it. Now I just have to review the notes I made, which should take a week or something. So it's pretty chill. Then I gotta make a video about it. But also I was working this whole week as well, so I'm a little bit overwhelmed. If I'm honest, I'm a little bit spent. I haven't shaved a little bit. You can't tell. It's fine, but yeah, it's been a lot. I haven't had any time to be like, let's enjoy a moment, you know. It's just like next kind of thing, you know, which is, it's good on occasion, you know, to be like, oh, this is what it's like to be in constant motion and like, oh my god, how nice is it just to have some peace, just have stuff that's not going on all the time, you know. Grant, what's happening with you guys? What's your life like? Are you in the rocking back and forth kind of period of life where you're kind of going through the motions? Also, Lone Syndicate says, I got Elaine, by the way. Awesome. Another waifu added to the ranks / harem. Good job. Is she good? Because people were saying that she might be better than Xing Cho, but also, like, who the hell is better than Xing Cho? Or, like, even are they even competing in the same area besides just water character that can kind of be a support? So, yeah. Did you happen to get... Oh, no, you don't have the opportunity yet to get the cool, like... Yoimiya, like ninja Yoimiya, essentially. Well, that's what I think of her. The other person's coming out, I think. Alonso says, no, for us in the US, we are, okay, so it's 7, okay, so we got plenty of time. Gotcha. Han says 7 p.m. Eastern time for here. Oh, golly. Lone Singer says, but my day has been good. Good work, was chill. Came home. I got Elaine another. Oh, did she come out today? Ah, shit. We could have jumped on in Genshin and just fucked around for a little bit. I haven't played Genshin in an eternity. It's not too late to jump on and play Genshin just to change things up, you know? Oh no, I have to download. Never mind. I have to download the whole thing. Ugh. But I do desperately want to, like, as much as I am still very much wanting to support the shit out of, Tiny Tina's Wonderland, I think when Saints Row comes out, we'll do the same thing that we did when we covered Wonderland, which we'll probably do for, like, 2 weeks straight, whatever new game is, and then we'll kind of start teetering back and forth, with the exception to maybe hot fixes and stuff like that, just because I know the importance of, like, covering one thing through, like, a stretch of time, because that way you can garner momentum and people can see that you're investing in that content greatly, if that makes any sense. Yeah, until then, probably going to still be covering Wonderland, but I think that's going to be my mental balance, essentially, is on our streams. We're going to be playing, yes, Wonderlands occasionally, but probably some other games. That'll give me some, like respite from Wonderlands, and then on my time, I'll be playing Wonderlands and try to craft a build and find fun ways to, interface with this game, I guess. But, yeah. But, yes. What's good, Zero? Zero says, hello. Hello, Zero. Now, guys, we have the challenge of finding the spell. Yeah, when you sort by type, that means nothing. Nothing at all. I thought type meant, like, pistols, shotguns. It doesn't. It absolutely doesn't. It is immensely frustrating. Yeah, see, there's pistols, SMGs, all kind of mixed mashed together. I have no idea what type means. Is it like fire? No, that's wrong. I don't know, because there's manufacture, which makes sense, but I don't know what the gas thing is called, or like what type of it is. I mean, we could just keep going until I guess we should go by manufacture, because I think all of the spell weaving things are on the same kind of spell spectrum. Okay, so now we're in the spell spectrum. Okay. Let us go over here. We'll look at anything that has any sort of square, like a garbage can indicator. Type as a weapon. Type as in weapon type. Yeah, but we looked there. You could see that you seen like a pistol, an SMG, a bazooka. Yeah. So like, what do you mean? Cause yeah. What do you mean 0? Because like type to me, we seen a bunch of types of what does type mean? What does that mean? If it's manufacturers, that makes sense. That's like the genre of thing. But type to me would be like pistol type, the type of weapon. But that was all mixed mash. Also, Lone Singlet says the answer to the question is both yes and no. Yelane is better than Shincho, cause his Yelane's skill hits like a truck and can burst. Can provide a bonus damage to the team up to 15%. But is that 15% better? Okay, but yeah, because you said she hit just as like a dump truck of damage. Gotcha. I'm just wondering if that outbeats a C6 Shincho that's like firing 6 swords into somebody, you know? You have pistols, SMGs, assault rifles, and other stuff. Yeah, but Zero, what do you call it? When we sorted by type, it basically had all the types were mixed. So we've seen pistols here, we've seen an SMG here, and normally it would be just pistols, but it wasn't like that. We had an SMG and then a pistol below it, that kind of whole thing. So I don't think I agree with you. That makes the most logical sense. But from what I've maybe there's like a delay in like the refresh rate. Maybe that could have also been a problem with it. But we'll try it if I find my thing. We'll see if type actually works that way. We got shields. All right, we're already out of spell land. Unfortunate. Swift. We're looking for any manufacturer that has any sort of spell thing. Wait, what? What the hell? We had more spells in here. Oh, it's just taking the HUD's. I think the HUD. Yeah, it's taking a fucking millennia to come back. Is it? No. Okay, so what's the one that's buffing you? It's like conjure. Not conjure, it's something else. We seen it just then. It was that, like, it has like an M. There, this one. This, that. That. But these are all, of course, Buffmeisters. We'll let the game load, because it's shitting the bed. Also, ladies and gentlemen, this is a non-interest thing, man. So here's the thing. How do I talk about this in a constructive, reasonable way? Okay, so with Let It Die, or Deathverse, coming out, it begs the question of like, okay, God of War is going to come out eventually. It might get delayed, but God of War is going to come out eventually. Also, Deathverse is going to come out eventually. Also, it's not like PS4 does not have cool games that are coming out. But a part of me is sitting there like, yeah. Also, I'm sorry, I seen the chat move a little bit. I was like, oh, what's it? Anyways, let me finish my train of thought before I jump back into chat. Yeah, see, what the hell happened? Now we don't have the things there. There we go. Marcus is back. Just over here. It's just over here. Okay. So with Deathverse coming out, with all these game things coming out, it makes me like, okay, I need to get a PS4, even though, dude, it's like 3 games, but it's just that, like, goddamn exclusivity. This is the worst, because it's just so good. Like, God of War, dude, I could watch a Let's Play, but I just loved that game so much that, like, these fucking douchers, they got me right where they want me. Same thing with Deathverse. I'm like, playing it on PS4, little sketchy, little like it's the game wants to kill itself all the time. And I could also hear the fan in my PS4, and you guys who have PS5s have to tell me, is it better or is it as loud and obnoxious as like as soon as you're just hanging out, not even like something strenuous, it's just like, no, we're just chilling and the game's having a stroke, or the console's having a stroke. Regardless, so I have this overarching thought of like, eventually I have to buy this stupid thing, probably. Maybe I can avoid it, maybe. But recently I've had like this discovery that my feet are just fucked, especially when you're standing. I don't think it's just my feet. I think it's everybody's feet. If you're just standing in place for like 6 hours straight without moving, without like fluctuation or like anything, your feet just go ache. Like it's a different kind of like just pain, like blood pools in your feet. Bad, not good. Sitting down makes the biggest difference in the world. But yeah. Also, why did that not... We're at the beginning again. I think, man, I hate the UI so much. I'm not like, we're not even close. Is that not? It's bonk. It's just a corrosive thing. It doesn't help that I have like 16 fucking things in my inventory, but you know, Christ. I wish so badly you could just sort by new. That'd be just magic. It'd just be like, yeah, now here it is. Anyways, I'm finished right after that. It's more of a podcast stream. Anyways. But, so I have this overarching thought of like, eventually I need to buy this PS4 probably because I want to cover some of the games on it. And I also, a lot of the games on PS4 are really good. Like Miles Morales, if that was on PC, I would have played it immediately because it looked dope. But I told you guys I've been working my ass off this last couple weeks, and basically been standing for incredibly long periods of time, to where I was like, okay, it's time to buy a real good set of boots that support your feet, especially my feet, because I'm not sure if it's just like lack of tolerance, but boy, I'm just pain. So I ended up, and this is both expensive, unfortunately, buying like US shit as a Canadian. It's cheap US, like $150 boots, which is, it's kind of right in the higher end-ish part of shoe buying. Shoe buying can be anywhere from $120 to $200, usually, depending on if you're like willing to, do a ton of research, buy the one shoe that's cheap and good, which is usually like Costco make or something. Anyways, so I got these boots, but it ended up being like basically the same price as fucking PS4. So these boots better be good. But the thing is, I bought the boots because I think they could genuinely help my like horrible pain in my feet, maybe. Whereas the PS4, I don't have any excitement to buy it because it's like a fucking, oh good, I'm spending $300 basically on 2 games. It's probably like $500, frankly. And I'm just like, dude. And also, I've had a really good week this week and last week, like monetarily wise. Like I said, been working. My YouTube been doing well. It was quite the roller coaster. But yeah, I just feel like I'm in this weird place. I bought the shoes, and part of me was like, should I have just fucking not gotten the shoes? Had fucking swollen, horrible feet, but I had a PS4, dude. And I could have both probably, but I just don't like dropping $1,000 in a month. It's disgusting to me. Anyways, sorry. Hi, hello, welcome to the stream and me venting. But yes, I don't know, guys. I'll be honest. I was really like, hey, maybe we'll be able to find it in this hellscape. Is that it? No, that's the moose spell. God, I hate it so much. This is like I remember Elden Ring came out and everyone was like just shitting all over the UI because they're like, Elden Ring has the worst UI ever. And I thought it was fine. Who cares? If it works, it works. This is the worst UI I've ever had, ever. Like the HUD looks great. The menu system and like its crazy load nonsense is fucking brutal. And it's partly my fault. I need to suck all the legendaries out of here and just shove them somewhere else, but I just drop them. I have so many like non-good items here, but this is also a symptom of the game that they created, where it's like, hey, your chaotic is useless now. Like, so you've saved a bunch of chaotics, idiot, fucking stupid. And you're like, fuck you, bastard. Anyway, I'm seeing nothing here, boys. I thought we were sorting by manufacturer, and I haven't seen any of like the spells that I'm trying to find. I think it's these people are the ones that have the spells that I'm looking for, but I don't fucking know, dude. Zero says, type as weapon. I wish they made a child better. I wish they allowed you to have his. Oh yeah, well that'd be too excessive. I think Zero. I think everyone would just buy child if he could like turn into some demon thing. Like that's already kind of like, I feel like they're holding that shit back for a rainy day. And I don't know. To me, man, I don't know. As much as I understand, like, Mihoyo probably will not change ever until there is a monetary reason for them to change. In fact, the only reason why they changed Zhongli probably was because there was the fear at the moment of potential, fear of them losing out on monetary income from their main player base. But to me right now, man, I'm kind of like, again, as much as I'm like, yeah, it'd be cool to have delusion characters, like to have those kinds of things. To even just not have delusion characters, just give a Senora or something. None of that seems like it's in relative space, and I'm like, okay. Lone Singet says, it can become Yelane's burst class. Is this it? Tidebreaker, sorry, let's see. Tiebreaker, Buffmeister, just Buffmeister, one tick over, and then we'll just hold because it's gonna have to refresh. No, actually, we're good. Buffmeister. all this. Am I off in my assumption that the new legendary weapon is, or spell, sorry, is a Buffmeister weapon? Is this it? That looks kind of unique. It is! Garlic breath! Holy shit, I can't believe we actually found it. What a nightmare. Oh, I have too much stuff in my inventory. Oh god, no. Sure, the staff, no, the staff's actually kind of cool. We don't need these, right? Yeah, we don't need these. Got that. Go back over. Please tell me it's here again. Please don't tell me it's lost. Where is it? Where is it, dude? The HUD's fucking killed itself. Where is it? Is it? Is it? Garlic breath, grab. Ah, okay. Get me out of this hell. God, I hate the vault so much. It's my fault partially. It's not all my fault. It's the fact that the fucking HUD... you should not have 70 or however much space in your vault if a game is like stroking up to handle that. That's like where you say, I'm the parent. No, you cannot have any more vault space because every console is dying as it's being loaded in. Anyway, let's go somewhere different. Let's go to this, undead land, because this is actually like a relatively fair representation of this. Because I don't think garlic breath is gonna be that great. Granted, we're not necessarily doing spell damage with this one, so maybe this is the wrong class to give him this one to. But Zero says dual elemental characters would be better. Would be cool. Yeah, I think it'd be cool. I just think it would be too stacked. Like if there was ever I feel like the nature of a dual elemental would just, Mahoya wouldn't know how to make it like intriguing enough to where it would be like, yes, you can do vaporize, but they do the lowest damage in the game. So it's kind of just like what you've always had. And it's like, I want to strangle you, except I'm joking, and that was not real. Please do not, yeah. Also, once again, it says, Grin, when was the last time you clean your system? You mean my bank? Or my, like, what you mean? Oh, you mean my like PS4? What do you mean clean? Like, I don't actually like go in there and take stuff out of it. Zero says it does mean that. How far into the game are? Oh yeah, but Zero, that not for me, by the way. Yeah, so for the type thing, it didn't do that, Zero. Yeah, we could look. Maybe it was lagging and I kept seeing an old image. Let's go look. Let's go say that the type is not what you think it is. Despite I think it should be that, it is not. What is good, Red? Also, what is good, Ari? Red says, hey peeps. What's good, Red? Ari says, hey, Genshin 2.7 drop today. Did you try? I didn't try it. I forgot to download it. I've literally had no time since you guys seen me. Even Sunday, I was like working the whole day. I streamed and then I exercised really quickly. And then I just immediately tried to read my book and then I went to sleep. Today, or Monday, sorry. Same thing, got up early, worked all the way to 4. Quickly made a thumbnail for the video. Then what do you call it? Then I had to go and we had to put up this giant, it's like a sign, but with like, it's 3D and it has lights behind it. We put that on a building. And then I got home and then I showered and then I finished my book, which was nice. I haven't really been in a pleasant environment outside of streams, meaning I haven't like watched a fun TV show. I haven't watched that many YouTube videos. I've been like, I haven't been able to enjoy anything for like the last week, honestly. It's really, let's say 4 days. So I'm a little bit like, like I fucking can't handle it, but at the same time that's kind of the case right now with my entire family, because we go through like stages of being really busy and then really dead, like nothing's happening. So yeah, it's just one of those really, really busy days, but also it doesn't change the fact that I'm like, God help me. But yes, but I do want to try, in fact that would have been the perfect stream to do today just because there's so much new shit and stuff to look at. But yes, but I haven't actually been playing like getting my dailies, which I want to. Part of me doesn't want to, because I feel like if I get back into that, I'll start getting back into like the scarcity principle kind of thing. But anyways, also let's sort by type. So right now, so you can see Stokers there, but you also can see Bazooka, pistol, SMG. We're sorted by type. I'll even reset it. Sort by type. Bazooka. Yeah, a Torg weapon. It's also a pistol. This is an SMG. This is a shotgun. So it's not like we go a couple deep to reset it even more. We see a spell. I think this is a melee weapon. If it ever takes a little bit of time to reset. Yeah. So it's kind of just, yeah. So like this is melee weapons. Actually, melee weapons, it seems to be working. Interesting. So melee weapons, it seems to reset in the proper way. Maybe if I go all the way to the front, is it still? No, it still does weird stuff with the stokers. Yes, you got melee weapons all consolidated in here. I see we got pistol, shotguns. I guess melee weapons is the only thing that it seems like it actually says, like, no, this is all the block of melee weapons. Yeah, but see, pistols, everything else just mess. So yeah. Oh no, there's a melee, yeah, it's a melee weapon right there. So yeah, melee weapons is not scattered perfectly. Yeah, just all scattered. So that's what I mean by 0. But they need to fix that this their tab game. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I need to catch up on chat. My game is hard locked up, by the way. Hopefully we're okay. Diego says, "How far into the game are you?" Also recap. Into this game, I'm pretty. We're finished basically. Yeah, we've beaten it. They just need to fix their game. Yeah, the zoom and groove and build is fun. Oh, nice. Yeah, that was a great build. It says, "Sup people? And we're being Swedes." Oddity says, "Hey Grin." Oh, that dropped. Oddity says, "I think Genshin will come as soon. Will change as soon as there's a competitor to Genshin." Maybe, but there's other gacha games. But maybe, like you're saying, there's not a gacha game that's even in its realm. Yeah, which I think kind of can mean the same thing. If there is a competitor, like a true rival to Genshin, then that will, in my definition of that, it'll be a game that is equally as successful, meaning monetarily, people's attention spans on it, kind of thing. So yeah, I think we kind of probably are saying the same thing already. Like, at least, well, to me, like I think if the game was like beloved by players but wasn't monetarily sustainable, then I don't think it would beat or be a true rival to Genshin. You know, granted, if it was sustainable, not like Genshin, which is basically like the most excess success you could have. Yeah. Red says, "Hopefully, yeah, man. That's again, to me. For Genshin, for me, man, I'm into this weird thing where like a part of me would love it to become the game that I want, but I almost feel like if there was a brand new game with a fresh start that started doing like shit that I really agreed with, like I really like the Tower of Fantasy kind of baseline things I've seen from it largely, that to me I'm like, oh, like I almost want to bet on you, because to me it's a bit sad if Genshin only became a game that started applying features that everyone's been demanding forever, only when it was like finally in scarce water. It's kind of like, yeah, if you didn't change when you could, you had to wait for like there to be some sort of thing in your way to just do the right thing, so to speak. I don't know. To me, that makes me feel like I'd rather bet on the horse that seemingly just started changing, which of course is kind of like stupid, because of course people will just change to get a reaction, you know? It's like, I'm sure Tower Fantasy looked at what Genshin was doing and said, how can we start to do what players want to the extent in which we can start pulling people into a different area, you know? But also, I don't know. A part of me also thinks that knowing MiHoYo, especially with their crackdown of like leaks in some ways, or at least it was weird. Like they're kind of cracking down, but they kind of can't. I feel like with them, they'd probably, and this is going to sound crazy to people who played Genshin at the very beginning, but I think they'd probably handle any sort of like competitor that is too similar to Genshin with the same like ban hammer of authority, kind of like they're copying me, which is hilarious because people played Genshin at the very beginning of its lifespan. We'll know that it was getting criticized for being like Breath of the Wild and taking so much from everybody else, but just knowing how MiHoYo sees things and tries to like dominate in a way that they've shown they have, I feel like if a game like I think there's a reason why we haven't seen too many games that are very, very similar, almost identical to a Genshin formula. It's because I think MiHoYo would just rip in the shreds, because they have enough money now to buy a fuck ton of lawyers to now just push someone down the fear route. And unless your game is vastly different from from their thing, like what do you call it? Arguably, Tower Fantasy is an MMO game. It's not really like a Genshin game, but it kind of is still trying to do a lot of the things that Genshin's doing. So I don't know. Part of me would hope, but who knows? Part of me thinks that I think there's a reason why we haven't seen too many Genshin-like games, and if we have, it's games that are in like kind of adjacent genres, kind of like a Blue Protocol is also like an MMO, you know. The only one that seems like it's coming directly for Genshin to an extent is the what is it called? The Seven Deadly Sins game, but even then, that game seems like it's kind of protected by the fact that it's in a universe like the Seven Deadly Sins archetype. Like that's a formidable thing in itself, you know. So I don't know. I'm curious what you guys think. Actually, let me phrase that in a question. Do you guys think that if there was a competitor to Genshin, that MiHoYo would handle it in like a free-spirited way? Just based on my information about seeing how they handle leakers and stuff like that, and that type of thing, I lean towards I think they would handle it in more of like a Disney way of censoring than especially keeping their IP or ideas safe, etc. Especially when they have so much monopoly now that they can kind of just spend that on legal fees and still consider it to be a win, you know? Zero says no. No Kune looks like fun. What's that? Nia no Kune? What's that? That one sounds. Is that the one that's like really looks like it's drawn almost like more drawn and cartoonish, kind of like a Pooh Bear kind of a stylized, like softer almost. And had to rush to get to the events. Red says I'll probably give Tower of Fantasy a try at some point, but it being an MMO is disappointing. Yeah, no, I agree with that. But also, a part of me wonders because if they can make a Genshin game that has a lot of the mechanics of an MMO without being distant enough from an MMO, then I think that'd be really good. Like, there's so many games that like massively succeeded because I think they messed with that idea. Also, I had no idea this was a thing. But the idea of like an MMO. Can you hit this? Weird. Wonder what that's from. Weird. But yeah, so like a Destiny was one of those games that took a lot of MMO mechanics, but then like eventually stopped using them or like didn't like fully flush those out. And I was like, come on, man, this seems like totally what you should be doing, but I don't know, maybe I don't know as much, probably. Lone Sika says GRINN, they still need more time to come up with some BS on how Senora survived and did after getting slammed into an 8-piece by what do you call it? Yeah. Well, to me, man, I think that could be a fun, like when you said that, a part of me thought, I think that'd be cool if they actually did the like if Senora came back but like completely like lost her memory kind of thing, and she was actually like a really good person and like really charming, like they really just made her like seem super awesome and really nice, but then only to realize that that's her at her core, like she is genuinely a nice good person, but because of whatever circumstance, whatever kind of whatever the, what do you call it, the ruler, the person that they all worship, the delusion people, if they all like there's a reason why she's bad, I think that'd be a cool storytelling mechanic of like, no, she's still good, it's just that there's clearly something that's made her kind of be cruel and act in such a way. Maybe it's because the whole world's gonna end, which seemingly is the underarching like idea of Genshin, is that the world's degrading essentially. What's good? Cap says, hey brother, XX yo, going to build a build using Barbalodin. I would hope. Are you going? Or are you saying am I? I think we're gonna try. I would like to. I think we're gonna try to do it, but it's gonna be a little messy. I want to make the build that was interesting to me right now is if I can use a tornado kind of build, that'll be fun. Tornado build would be goofy with Spore Warden, and yeah. And also, yeah, yeah. Well, because the other builds that we've made are just made incredibly better by the Graveborn being a part of almost all of them, and now having Fear Nots be so goddamn good. If you can just get a lot of them out in the open, you know. I just completed the whole chasm and Raiden quest line. They took me now. Yeah, no, man. Again, that's the thing that I was finding too. Adity. I went back and tried to like catch up. Also, we'll use this. I forgot we supposed to cast equip our spell. But yeah, when I was grinding Genshin, I came to the realization that I was kind of surprised by. I was like spent. Like after, like I always thought like, oh, a surplus of content would be like the ideal thing. That's what so much of us want. We're tired of being like burnt out on all the stuff that there's nothing to do. But then like when you have a whole plate full of content, to me, when I grind through the story, which I thought was nice, but just the fact that I had to push through so much of it at once made it kind of drag, made it less fun. The fact that I also had like, what do you call it? So many like side quests, or not side quests, like events to quickly try to wrap up and do. It made it like it made it almost the monotony of them. Like when you have nothing to do and you have a little bite-sized piece and you eat it and you're like, ooh, good, I'm starving. That's something. But then when you like go somewhere else, you find other food, and then you come back and you have a whole plate full and you start eating it and you're like, this actually isn't that engaging to me. I'm kind of getting spent. Like the Raiden Shogun, like maybe they play tested this and they realized, oh yeah, if we just throw like a shit ton of story, because I had to do like 4 Raiden Shogun quests. Also, it's lost on me that like we play a game, Genshin, where we're literally running around as the doppelganger of Bennett when doing a Bennett quest, but we still have to complete certain quests in like a chain when it comes to events. Like I get quests, sure, but like events, like I have to complete this to get this event, or like this person is busy because I have started their side quests. Like I can subvert my expectation about like that person's in 2 places at once. Like it's insane. But yeah. All right, let's try using this spell. This is Garlic Breath. Well, okay, so here's the thing. I think our general build will just eat and devour people. But let's see. Garlic Breath. Why is Garlic Breath not hippity happening? Stop it. Okay, where is it? Garlic Breath. Come on, Garlic Breath. All right, it's happening. I mean, I actually killed him. Actually, yeah, and it was a basic mob, but still something. Yeah, take what you can get, you know. Also, I guess we use this, yeah. I didn't really see how that. Oh yeah, no, we still melt everything. I don't know if it's due to Garlic Breath. Also, considering like this is a basic enemy, it's not bad. Let's go to the person before we say, ooh, Garlic Breath might be something. Granted, I don't know if it's because we're doing a lot of like elemental damage, or if it's because I don't think we're doing spell damage. That's a little odd. Also, did you try a Bridge of Cana? Bridge of Spirits. Damn, that game is so beautiful. Love the game. Gives me Ori vibes. I'm thinking about so right now, as always, we have like a laundry list of stream games. The one that to me I think would be the funnest in terms of content, as like us being goofy and like having fun, is a stupid dating sim game that's like Eldritch horror nonsense. Looks great. The other one is I have Control free. There's also a BioShock Infinite free on Epic Games Store at some point, which I thought would be fun, just doing a Clash in the Clouds stream, because that was one of my favorite things just to experience. I feel like so many people didn't actually get to mess around with it, and it was so fun. But then also your Cana Bridge of Shadows sounds awesome. So yes, there's tons of things that eventually, I'm not sure if we have it in the Discord, but just like a thing of us, like a tab where we basically just show. I think there's this GRINN suggestion tab, which I think would be a surrogate kind of thing for this, but where you could just post a game that you think could be fun for us to experience on stream. Granted, yeah, like by the way, I didn't realize how far away Saints Row is. It's still like 3 months away, so it's a good bit. It's pretty far still. I was like, oh wow, it's this is maybe right at the beginning of the next month or whatever. Then maybe it's a little bit closer than I think, but still good. So we definitely need to find something to keep ourselves paced out. And again, I love Tiny Tina's Wonderland, but kind of want to have something else at least to do on streams, cause yeah. Red says, as far as platforms games, as far as platforming games, I recently bought Tomb Raider, Angel of Darkness Anniversary, Legends and Underworld for $3. Such a fun platforming game. Love the classic Lara. Yeah, okay, interesting. Is it like Not the new Lara Croft games, but just the other ones. Just like I imagine like some kind of like indie kind of darling kind of things, right? Or are they actually like the Tomb Raider games? Because I know a lot of people who love those, and a lot of people who are like, it's kind of a mixed bag, it seems. All right, let's quickly test this. Are you alive? Yes. I mean, it's chipping away. It's not a great amount, but as soon as we start mailing him, stacking up some whirlwinds, it's better. Still not great. Still not great. It's kind of fine, actually. In fact, yeesh. Yes. It still works. I was surprised we didn't die there. Frankly, I thought we were going to get bit. But it's fine. Well, that was fun. So that was one of the few... Well, does anybody know if we can actually get access to the new legendaries yet? No, it's Thursday when that comes available. So never mind. And it still might be like next Thursday, because I'm not sure when they're going to trickle those out, unfortunately. But let's go back to our classic... Well, I guess we could try to MacGyver with this... Where is it? This? Why the fuck do I have a thing there? Where is my... Where is it? Is this? No, that's not it. It's this one. I don't know why I spec'd Berserker. I guess yeah. I guess we outright last minute we changed shit. Ugh. I wish I didn't do that because I don't remember what we were doing last time. I took such a break from... I took like 3 days. But that's enough for me to be memory wiped. Okay. Ari says, the old platform games... the old platform ones were fun to me playing in the old PCs. Yeah, man, there's a lot of good memories. That's why Ori to me, like, I never was a big fan of the platform games, to tell you the truth, but there's something about Ori and the Blind Forest that felt so like magical, I guess. Like, just the soundtrack, the story, the like heart in it, I guess, felt really, really nice. I'm not sure if I love the gameplay of a platforming game. Yeah, with that being said, though, I do like platformers. I like Mirror's Edge quite a bit, but I'm not sure if that's really applicable for the genre. Red says, Tomb Raider reboot games were fun for me, for sure, but that was not Lara Croft. They changed her personality and aesthetic way too much. So do you think that like they're good, but in a different way, but you still prefer the original Tomb Raider? Is that fair? Because that's the thing, right, for me... Like what pops up in my head a little bit when I hear that a little bit is the like, I really actually quite enjoy when people take an idea. Like, for me, again, I always bring this example up, but they not recently, this was a while ago actually, but basically they remade Maleficent, or like they didn't remake anything. They just made a movie about Maleficent, like the fucking evil witch, the spindle, all that stuff. And instead of making it like the traditional story where she was featured, where she was like this evil fucking menace who's like comically, evil, instead they were like, let's make a story that makes this character seem endearing and actually make it like kind of a love letter to this idea that like people are like, like in a lot of fairy tales, it's not just that like the evil villain's evil. It's like, no, there was a king that came before her that was cruel and demonstrously evil, and she killed that person, and in so kind of became that same kind of evil because that was what she needed to become in order to kill the bad guy. But she still has reverence and love in her heart for these other things, and that almost makes her a human to some extent. And I really liked that, like that idea in a game. So for me, I feel like there's this bridge constantly being kind of broken and rebuilt, where people want people to recreate the thing that they interface with, whether that's nostalgia, so they want them to make it so identical to the original that it triggers those nostalgia kind of principles. Or if they're like me, where I want something like the thing that exists is always going to exist. I like things that are like a new take on something. Now, granted, people's argument for this oftentimes is, well, if you're going to do something so drastically different, or even just slightly different, why not just make a brand new story with a similar format? And I think people are, unless you do that explicitly, I think people are cruel and they'll be like, well, that's stealing, like this is a copycat of this idea. So I don't know. I would always err on the side of like, I like when people try new things, I guess, because but also I understand that like if I were to think about it, there could be like if they made Fable and there was nothing like Fable, then I'd be like, that's kind of fucked up. But also I'm not sure if I'd even agree with no, because Fable did that. Fable did a bunch of shit. Fable did like this fucking Kinect game where you were hucking spells. I thought not for me, and I walked away. Although I wanted to play it, I just never bought it. But yeah. But also Fable tried this like multiplayer game that was nothing like Fable. It was just like kind of like a goofy fun idea of a multiplayer game. Kind of like what Evil Within is now, except within a multiplayer game, or within the Fable universe. I was like, okay, yeah, so actually fuck that. I take that back. My favorite series, I was fine when they were fucking with it, making it completely foreign to what it was. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so I'm much more on the other side of the camp. I quite like her new personality too. Not comparable to the old one. It's different from the old games and unique in a unique way. Agreed. It is. Yeah. I feel like that's the thing. People seem to have this kind of deviation for what that is. Audi says, well, they now made it that you can do events without going through the quest. Quests will not gate you from playing events. Oh, really? Oh, when does that? Okay, that's amazing, Audi. That's awesome news. Thank you for telling me that. So in Genshin, they'll no longer gate you by doing those quests? Fuck yeah, dude. I cheered out and found that out today. And really, that's amazing, man. That's a step in the right direction, at least. I hope it keeps going. What a fucking thing, dude. Only when everyone's like left, like so many people, so many content creators, like, you know what? I'm out. I'm out. They're like, okay, wait, hold up. I don't know. Oddity says, you will now only now do the exploration quest for the region to at least unlock the area where the event is happening. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. You need to explore the general area in order to get the quest. That makes sense. Red says, okay, good. I'm very behind in the story. Oddity says, so currently the event in the chasm, so you will at least need to explore the chasm quest to at least open the chasm for the event. Okay, I may need to do that then. That's a little unlucky. Unlucky. What's good, Mose? Mose says, thank you for the video in Let It Die. I've been extremely helpful throughout my journey. Thank you so much, Mose, for giving me a single second of your day. I'm happy you found any value in them. Hopefully you'll check out the Deathverse video coming out today. As soon as the stream's done, I'll upload it. It's a little bit of a blue ball, I'll be honest. It's us just going through the tutorial, and because I was so excited to be there, I was like taking my sweet ass time, like going through the tutorial things. In Deathverse, so that video is that, but also I wanted it to be like, if people didn't care about like the story of Deathverse and what we're kind of getting into, which is like the Death Jamboree and this and that, then they'll have that. They can just skip that video, and then the next video will be us in multiplayer mode. And yeah, what am I doing? We're respecking our character, and we're going to, I guess, do Chaos Chambers and see if we can find a giant like kink in the armor, which I feel like we're already going to be able to, because yes, yes. Things. Yeah, we tried Berserker. That was the best for us. We're gonna do this. Yeah, we went down here first. So we're gonna get gun damage, companion health, companion damage. I think we want this for sure. And then we want this. We could regenerate some spells. I think movement speed's a little bit better though. What's this? Gun critical hit chance and companion. That's actually not bad. We maybe should have gotten that. Damn it. Gun critical hits increase companion damage. No. Aiming down sights. No. We'll get this. Also a little bit more of these. Then we'll get all of this. And then we'll get this. Sure. And then we'll get one more of that. And then we'll get this. And then we'll jump over here and get all of this. All of this. And a couple of this and this. Awesome. Okay. Also, we'll keep that. I think we need to have that just in case. Also, we need some more healing. We can have a rage timer bonus. Also, I can have resistance. Let's get some healing. I feel like we're gonna be close to dead. Let's go with healing. We got even more points to spend. Save your soul duration. That'll be nice. And let's get this. Oh, we already maxed out that shit. I guess this. Cool. Let's see if we can manage even a little bit in the Chaos Chambers. It might get real bad. It might get real bad. Primordial, all damage dealt. That's not helpful really to us, but something. Guns with wings. Fear not. That's the one we got currently. Yeah, we might have to rock that just as is. Okay, we'll do that. Featured run, sure. Red says, Grin, it's the old Tomb Raider games before the oh, you downloaded those? Really? For $2? I feel like those had to be cheaper than that. Those are some old ass games. I'm probably gonna miss the event. All my time has been taken up with making mods for Elden Ring. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that, Red. But also, your mods are like insane. Making mods is very consuming. At least the mod. No, yeah, absolutely. I think making any mod is excessive. With the exception if you. I know there are certain mod creators that have been doing it for such a long time where they have like kind of a built-up reserve almost of mods to do or to use. Sorry. So yeah, those people are the kind of exception to the rule. I don't think. I don't think the actual rule. But yeah, they. What is it? They like. There's a person who used to. I used to hear a lot about called Eleonora in the Fallout New Vegas, Fallout, Skyrim, all of Bethesda games kind of mod scene where she was insane. She was making a bunch of houses, but also I think at a certain point, I think I tuned into one of her streams when she was modding. Well, like she was designing. She basically was known for designing like crazy houses, like just insane furniture with crazy detail. But basically, what do you call it? She talked about having a lot of templates after you basically start modding for a while, so you don't have to remake everything. Like when you already make one housing mod, you've done like a lot of the pre-step work to understand what it takes and also have a blueprint of what it would mean to have all that stuff, you know? Which to me makes sense. But also, still takes time, especially for your first like foray into that thing. But it says, yes, I very much prefer the old Tomb Raider games, but in the story, character, and gameplay. Okay. Oh, both in story, gameplay. Gotcha. I wonder, do you think that's... I don't know. I feel like this is something that is a question that I don't know if many people can answer. But it's the idea of, like, is there a nostalgia piece in there? Because oftentimes I look back at something and I'm like, I mean, she's just a bunch of triangle pixels. Sure, okay, but I also wonder if it's if a person can like understand that that's a part of their thing. I think that's I would like to think probably not. That's my lean. Yeah, and I say that for myself as well. Already says, I see. Hopefully we can check the mods out when you're done. Yes, says Red. I very much prefer old Tomb Raider. Alright, read that. Moses being lovely. I'm going to be at least a month or more before I'm done with the 3 mods completely. Then on to new mods. I was about to say, just a never-ending process. That's awesome, man. Have you started? Because yeah, I don't know the like Elden Ring community as much. But how is that in terms of you being in there, man? Is it like quite the? Are you becoming a person that many people know? Is I guess what I'm saying. In that sense, because I've seen you have a lot of people like using your stuff. So part of me wonders what that's like in terms of the like how the community as a whole looks at you. I imagine fondly, but I'm curious if there's just like there's a lot of other bigger fish in the Elden Ring modding community, and I just haven't been privy to that. Because to me it seemed like it wasn't that many people. Also, I forgot we were doing this. Also, I will change my that for a Buffmeister, Snowball, Zap, sure, Pew. We'll do this. That should help. Grind a bit. Go Pixies! Alright, we failed the objective. Turns out, yeah, whirlwind, spinny tornado things, not great. Not ideal for dealing damage, turns out. Also, I wonder if we should be using Pixies. Well, Pixies will give us a skewed representation of what's happening. Also, we could use Fear Nots, or like the dark magic ones just to heal us. Dust says, how about that Deathverse? What you mean? Oh, you mean like thoughts on it, man? We talked about this ad nauseum on last stream over at Twitch when we were talking and just hanging out. But no, I like it a lot. The only thing I think they need to address, in fact, maybe we should make a video about this when it's all said and done. Like when the video's, well, maybe we should do it before the video comes out. We'll see. There's a lot of stuff that we can get to. But yeah, when it comes to that game, Deathverse, the only thing I think is my takeaway is I like it a lot. I do think that there is some issues, some problems with it. Like one of those issues being I don't like the momentum of getting kills. Seems like it makes or breaks the game, even though I know it's there to de-incentivize people being lazy and like hiding for the whole game, which I like, but I just think it's too potent right now to where it's like it defines whether you get just melted. Like you can land like 8 shots and a person only needs to land like 3 at most if they have like a couple R's above you, which to me is like that's excessive. The other thing is there's nothing to really be done when you have low voltage. Like I wish there was some sort of mechanic in which you could regenerate health that also had a cost. Mushrooms are kind of like that, but they're not to the extent in which they're warranted, especially with the damage amp being out in there and present. It's kind of just excessive. Like the damage amp on top of you having no way to repair your voltage besides hitting somebody is just, yeah, you don't gain enough voltage by hitting somebody to like come back from nothing. You can kind of like slow the process and die slowly and make them weaker for the next fight maybe. But I think that if they could fix those two things where they adjust the damage amp from hitting things, or give you more ways to get a damage amp outside of like finding somebody, like if there were like special areas on the map that were like filled with beasts and there was a cost if you fuck up and you get ravaged by the beasts, you won't get any damage amp. But right now the beasts are so sporadic and like kind of everywhere that you're kind of hunting for them, and if you don't happen to find them, you're kind of screwed. Or if you don't have to find a person fast, you're screwed. Again, I think there needs to be a way to get voltage back without having to just like literally throw down, because again, with the damage amp being present, it just makes it so that if you'd have to score like 15 hits or something excessive in order to progress, in order to feel like you're having a progression thing, which I think they could fix. And they could also add a lot of fun neutralization points in Deathverse. Like if you are low health, you could go to a place like a siren and you could like turn it on and it would start like spewing out spilithium or voltage, which you would start healing from. But at the same time, it would start have a flashing, spinning light. So if a person could pick up on that in a map and like then go hunt for you, but it would have to be enough voltage regen that it would be worth you like turning it on and like hoping to be good. Also, you could turn on, heal a little bit, run away, go to the next area, turn on, heal up again, and now you're back to full voltage, and you could like pair it that way. Also, you could be a person that just turns on the siren and sits there full health, just soaking in the healing just to deplete it so that nobody else can have it when the round maybe goes to that area. You know, there'd be like ways to gamify it, but it wouldn't just leave you being like, well, I'm low health. Best I can do is like find 2 mushrooms, or like literally spend my entire time finding mushrooms to build myself back. But by the time I get to the end game, everyone's gonna have gold auras, which is just basically like they've gotten into a lot of damage encounters and have gotten enough fervor or like favor from the crowd, love from the crowd, that they're juiced. So things like that, they're not even difficult. They're just feel like a balance issue. Like Let It Die is all about like, sucks to suck, bitch. Get good. But those feel like it just cannibalizes itself, I guess, or the idea that it seemingly is trying to persuade. At least that's my sense. Yeah, we're getting a little beat up. We definitely need to. Maybe that's what we'll do. That might be what we do, boys. We might need to start grinding for some stuff. Sorry, we might need to, instead of doing TDM stuff, or this, not TDM stuff, we're talking about that. And instead of doing Chaos Chambers, I think we might need to do re-rolling enchantments, which is going to be something I'm going to do anyway, but I was hoping to not do it right now because it's kind of boring. But, we're kind of talking about everything right now anyway, so it's kind of like weird to be kind of split in this way. Oddity says, oh yeah, you might have missed it, but I checked out Wuthering Waves cinematic trailer and gameplay. It is most likely going to be a major competitor to Genshin. Okay, interesting. I'll look at it right now actually because I'm getting my ass kicked. I'm thinking about just backing out because The build's not like damage wise. We're doing cryo. We don't have any enchantments buffing cryo, and that's a big part of damage, unfortunately, within the game. What is it that you wanted me to Google? Let's see. Wuthering Waves. Okay, probably not even saying that properly, but it is what it is. This. Quickly YouTube it. Actually, let's Google it. Yeah, YouTube will show us a whole ass trailer. Just want to see what the general idea of it is. Okay. No, that looks dope. Just this one image. Pretty cool looking. Here. Yeah. Looks neat, right? We got some stuff. We got like a little bit of a katana thing going on. I actually like that it's not too too colorful. It's kind of like more like faded, which I like. Huh. Is it like, what is the premise? What is it all about? Is it have like, oh, it has a beta apparently happening at some point. Okay. I'm seeing a quick little trailer. Seeing a bunch of people react to it. I want to hear from you already what it is. I trust you. I'm not sure about these other people. But that looked neat. That looked very neat. Thank you, Mushroom Man. Just throw all of our guns. Red says $3 for 4 games. Oh, I see. That makes sense. A good deal. Yeah, no, yeah, it's a good deal. So I thought it was a $2 for just Tomb Raider. Even then, I thought that's not bad. That's not a bad deal at all. I was just thinking Tomb Raider. I feel like you get that free on Epic or something, or some sort of like, yeah. I feel like, yeah. I don't view it as nostalgia. I thought I enjoyed the old style of game. Interesting. Okay. So maybe that's just it. You like the retro kind of games. I've done my fair share of community contributions to help the modding community for Elden Ring. Yes, gotcha. Plenty of people have credited me for helping them with their mods. Nice! Awesome, Red. Love that. Already says also, Yelaine is very fun. Considering her ult is like Shincho, she will become very important. Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. In the past, they said that Shincho, or what do you call it? What's his name? The guy? Arataki? No. It's Ayaka's brother. Him. That guy. People were saying that he, fucking not Arataki, what is, the guy, the one person's brother. They were saying that he was like a competitor to Shincho, and now they're saying Yelaine is a competitor to Shincho. Who is a more of a competitor? Maybe that's a little bit like skewed because what's his name's been out for a while. Not Shincho, the guy in the white suit. That maybe it's like, well, no, people have built him and we've been able to see kind of his max potential. We haven't been able to see Elaine's yet, so I don't know. But let me know about it. We're gonna get some buffs. We're fucking struggling with that enchantments, rings, all of it. I sent a link. Check in chat. Oh, I just googled it real quick, but I want to know what you think about it because right now it looks like I like the art style a lot. The art style looks like more. I don't know, there's something about Genshin that is very like charming and boppy, but at the same time, I don't know, like that kind of like more neutral, more like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like if they had the right soundtrack behind that kind of like drab, kind of like gray, but still like beautiful and detailed, kind of like, it feels like more post-apocalyptic than like fantasy, wonder, and magic, you know? Which I think would be nice. I think it's space that Genshin doesn't have any space in, you know? I don't think Genshin ever frankly even tries to do the whole like super dark or like post-apocalyptic vibe, I guess. The trailer and gameplay are linked. In the thing, in the Genshin, in the tab in Discord. We might check it out when we get out of here, if I remember. It is in the post-apocalyptic type of genre, modern, unlike Genshin. Really? It's a modern type thing. Okay. All right. Yeah, but post-apocalyptic makes sense. So yeah, not really modern, but just like it's a futuristic idea, but it's also an apocalypse. So it is both futuristic, but also very behind, or very like odd looking, I guess. Post-apocalyptic, futuristic post-apocalyptic seems like a good idea. Maybe modern. I don't know if it looked modern to me. It definitely didn't look modern. I'm running out of ammunition. Ugh. See, yeah, man. One of the things that's so nice about like Graveborn is just that you're always summoning those damn like dark magic like hydras that just constantly keep spitting out ammunition for you. I always feel like they spit out the exact ammunition that you need, which is quite nice. A dazzling giant? That was that? I don't know. Give me. Let's go with just some loot. Actually, let's not make it elite. Let's just chill. I'm just trying to get through this. Oh, it's the hub tab? Perfect. I'll check that out when we get down here. Red says, Wuthering Waves looks interesting. We shall see. Yeah, man. To me, that's the thing that kind of makes me... I don't know. Like, I understand people's perspective of, like, you know, maybe there'll be a Genshin, you know, competitor to Genshin. Because I think a lot of people have an expectation of what that could possibly mean. I'm always just worried for people's expectations kind of getting thrashed a little bit by, like, what seems like there's been similar causes for them to react that was happened in the last year with players, you know, not playing as much, or YouTuber people not covering as much and things like that. And also, like, I think each banner is having a slightly lower thing happening. I haven't seen it, like, I haven't seen them move them an inch, you know what I mean? So, like, yeah, and maybe you're right, maybe that's a competitor will happen and they'll just pop off. I would hope that's the case, but the other feeling that I have when it comes to seeing, like, when people say competitor to Genshin or, like, anything like that, I think when people say competitor to Genshin, people just say, I want something else to play that is also, like, the thing that I like, which is totally fair and reasonable. But, for me, I don't know, a part of me... Like, whenever I hear the Genshin competitor or the Genshin similar adjacent game, I just feel like I don't see anything that's out right now. Like, even that game, as much as I want to get excited for it, I feel like it's going to be, like fucking, what is it, probably, like, 2 years out? And that, whenever I hear stuff like that, it makes it seem like a little, like, ugh. And it's funny because, like, I feel like if a game came out that was in, like, early access in this way, I feel like that would do better, because at least then, especially if they were showing that they were truly changing the game based on viewers and players you know, wants and desires, I feel like that would be like the exact change of pace that people are hungry for who haven't played Genshin, you know. You want that, like, do you give a shit? Can you prove to me that you give a shit about anything that we're saying, you know? Which, again, I'm not saying that MiHoYo doesn't. I'm saying that if I could honestly say that what I think about MiHoYo as a company, I think there's probably a design team that created Genshin that did not expect it to go as hard as it did. And then as soon as it started to fucking make millions, they hired a CEO, or they were already in the public trade, in which they just, the investors just assigned a millionaire CEO, essentially. And then the CEO is basically like super, like, don't fuck up what is not broken, essentially. So, and that's the thing. Maybe MiHoYo more than anybody wants to change and add things. But of course, you know, the people are like, wait, if we add that, that could mean everything goes to shit. Like, all our money goes away. All of our, you know, players could hate that. You know, there could be a reverb effect. Let's just keep making money until it stops, and then we'll maybe adjust. I feel like that could be the sense, but maybe I'm wrong. Audi says the trailer and gameplay is in the link. It is a post-apocalypse and the universe, unlike Genshin and modern. It looks like an RPG with 7 degrees of freedom in battle, including additional during combat, unlike Genshin, where most combat happens on the ground. Weird. So you're flying in the air, maybe? Is that what you mean by 3 degrees of combat? Is it like is it like a third person like game like that, or is it like Genshin, or is it like the you get a turn, I get a turn, you get a turn kind of thing? Because to me, that's where like a lot of the quote unquote Genshin competitors that I see kind of lose me, is that there's not like real time demand for your attention and like reaction, I guess. Oh no, I switched to the wrong thing. Good. Oh, my nose. Oh, Ayato, that's what it is. Thank you. You loan's gonna get lost. He says, Ayato, because I kept losing it. Well, because there's a little bit of a delay, just a little bit. but just enough apparently. Red says, I don't really like retro games much, but in the context of Tomb Raider games, I think the old games just do platforming, puzzles, gameplay, and story better. I haven't played them, so maybe I'd have to disagree, but because I've only played the Tomb Raider that's the one, so I am entirely disarmed for this comparison. But every time I see gameplay of the old Tomb Raider stuff, it yeah, maybe it's just me looking at the new modern game of it. But I remember some of the Tomb Raider first ones, the puzzles were interesting. Maybe it's because people don't like when a puzzle is kind of like I think people, I'm not sure. It depends on how people prioritize stuff in their mind. But for me, I thought the puzzles in the first Tomb Raider game I played, the reboot, were actually pretty fun and like solvable. Whereas I feel like maybe people have I like puzzles that are more difficult kind of thing, because I don't know, but maybe you do. Yeah, I guess everyone could perceive the difficulty or the puzzles themselves as being too hard, not hard enough, just the right amount of difficulty that they could make it better. Same thing with the gameplay, same thing with the visual, same thing with the story. But granted, I haven't played the original Tomb Raider, so. Audi says, Ayato is more of an active character. He is more compatible with Child and Xingqiu. Yelane is passive like Xingqiu, where you can just pop their skill and switch to your main. But can't you do that as well with Ayato? Because that was the thing. I feel like everyone used Ayato seemingly the same way they used Ganyu. Which not to say there's not a lot of value within his E, but just to say that I feel like if you just used his ult and then just switched off of him, and then you just get immediately just bombs. Also, your equipped character would get a ton of extra damage in the circle, you know. Okay, Wuthering Waves is dark. Okay, so it's not as childish. Or like jovial, I guess. Lone Sink says, Aido is more of a competitor to Ganyu as far as it applies to his element. Is a mass area lane is more. I'm more talking about damage. I'm not talking about like, yeah, I know what you guys are kind of going with. For me, I'm talking about like if you were to have Yelane as a additive damage. So if you were basically to take all the damage that you do your DPS by himself. And you somehow were to keep track of all that. If they ever have a game mode that has like you can see your actual net damage dealt at the end of a total event, whatever that's killing a boss, whether that's killing something, whatever, and then you were to see your total damage with Yelane, what would be more? Because I don't know, I feel like with Ayato's consistent drops, just bop bop bop, that might be pretty good. Also, just with him switching to him really quick and just doing a ton of AoE slashes. And then him having like kind of like a rotation in that way, because I think his ult is on a 1-to-1 cooldown. I don't know what Yolane's downtime is, because that would also contribute to the actual overall damage of it all, you know. So I don't know. That's kind of that's what I'm curious about. That's what I don't know. Because that to me, like I know like they would do different things. I'm just trying to like at the end of the day, at the end of the encounter, who would have more damage outside of like using Venti to get people close and stuff. Oh man, this is. You're not taking my money, all right? Not taking my money. But let's just we got. This is again. We're at level 35. I hate it, but we're gonna have to get a lot of enchantments in the right line just to be able to participate in level 35, which sucks. Fucking annoying too, but you know, a perfect game. Anyway, do we have? Oh, we don't even have enough fucking. I hate it so much. Sorry, we don't even have enough moon ore really to fucking reroll. Yuck. Oh, wait, no, there's a thing for us to maybe do. We can just go get moon ore maybe from the one thing, which that'll be kind of chill for us to do anyway, is this. Please tell me I visited this once. I haven't. Great. Awesome. Go to the overworld, dude. Reds. Oh, right. We were going to check. The thing. Right. Oh, my nose. We're going to pause the game. Face cam. This. Don't switch. Go to this. Hub channel. Oddity, you might get yelled at. Because people are like, hey, don't upload gameplay stuff in the hub channel. Upload it, which is fair, honestly. That's fair. Like, yeah. We know things get messy, but let's see. Hopefully my video doesn't get DMCA'd. Stream, I mean. Let's mute it. All right, boys. Here we go. Let's look at this. This is called Wuthering Waves. It's also... We're not going to listen to the sound also. Let's see. Red says, keep in mind, Grin, when on the older Tomb Raider games, I mostly am referring to Angel of Darkness 2003 up to Underworld. Okay, 2009. Awesome. I've never gotten into the Tomb Raider ones. I got into the Uncharted one, which copied Tomb Raider, arguably. Yeah. You won't... Nah, I know. I'm just mostly kidding. Okay. Let us see. Can't hear anything, but we're just chilling. Let's see. So far, the grass looks nice. It looks a little, yeah, got that drab kind of look to it. Little rough. Is it like a huge vista? Characters got great skin, I guess, taking care of themselves. Ooh, okay. Are they playing with this like the weather system? Oh no, okay. Looks cool. The character looks fine. Okay. It's more like bruiser than I was expecting. Or kind of being like just running through rocks and shit. Is it a monster or is this like the environment? Oh, is it a first person game? I'm getting all kinds of weird things from this. I see boob physics. That's present. What is dead will stay buried. Oh, is she gonna fucking... Oh, what? Okay, a little bit techno. Reminds me of that one other techno game where like it was like vampires or something that came out recently. Oh, is she gonna go Super Saiyan or something? Or is this like Visions? Except you have like a cool star tattoo. Cool, arguable, but yeah. Oh, she got gray. Oh, is this like a singularity that gives people powers or something? I don't fucking know. Ooh, that's terrifying. That's very unsettling. I don't like that. But also, I get worried when I see like giant kind of like enemies like that. Because I feel like you're just going to be slashing into them like 100 times, you know? You know? We looped it, yeah. Okay. I don't have a lot from this. But let's see. In-game footage for demonstration purposes do not represent final quality. Okay. It's a place to explore. Cute. I'm kind of into it. All right. Ooh, we can teleport. Wait, this actually looks really interesting. You can like just, yeah, fucking ninja up a wall. Where did that happen? Why? What? What was this? They're like, fuck it. There's your Spider-Man. Don't even know where that connects. Okay, we got a cute little umbrella. That could be cosmetic to fucking hell. You bet. You bet that thing is gonna have a sentient biological life form, a cat, whatever it is on there. We know it. All right. Okay, I like the cute short hair. It's neat. I guess this ball, what is this? I wish I knew the lore of this game. What is the little cool techno like jug? Oh, is this like a play on the story of the Seven Immortals, and they had like this gorg that they filled with like the fountain of youth or something that gives them like the essence of a god. I don't know. That looks neat. Very cool. Okay. It's a little show. It's a little like oh wait. So did she become Rock Guy? She might have became Rock Guy. Guys, let's fucking relax, okay? Let's do this. Speed less. All right, let's see. Let's run it back. All right, you can climb up walls. You can do a smash air down takedown thing. Okay. You can also dodge. And it looks like you can like punish with you perfect dodging through something. Very cool. Okay, yeah, you can become Rock Man. Wait, no, I think you summon a rock. What is that? I'm lost on that. I guess you just have a summon that you like queue up an attack, or are you getting your head kicked in and the enemies go into like a cool "I'm gonna kill you" like scene. That, or maybe he picked her up and that's why the camera got all fucking weird. Maybe that's what happened. I still haven't seen many things. Okay. I still haven't seen many things that do the one thing that I think Genshin absolutely did right and you kind of need. But it's, you can have layers of complexity in your video game or in your gameplay, not through like hit X, X, X square, 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 Y, X. This. You literally just have different characters that do a set thing better, like a different type of reaction with elements. I've yet to see like a game where you can switch between 3 characters, but yet they have more intricacy. That way it's like basically the equivalent to 4. But I hope that's what this one might do, but it looks like it's just a classic Slash thing, which I'm wondering how, like that's really fun being able to switch characters and having these kind of different perspectives. Okay. No, this looks very cool. You can like perfect dodge. I feel like we fought all of these enemies somewhere before. Cute! Oh, that looks like the fucking person from Reincarnated as Slime. What's her name? The actual like demon god dragon. Cute. Less cute. That one right there. Not this one, this one. Yes. Yes. Edgy. Also, you could play weird, long-haired, you know, hopefully grown adult. Also, that one was also very cool looking. Neat. Anywho, look, waifu material looking great. We've seen one dude, so we do know there is a peen somewhere in the gameplay. Okay. Whether anyone wants to engage with it, who knows? But this one, apparently the guy has drones and shit. Looks real wicked. I'm actually very interested in this. I am worried about the gameplay, because as much as, yeah, like there's a bunch of games that do this kind of thing where it's like, hey, I could put down an aura, I have drones, brah. If they can let me fuck with 3 people where I can be like, I'm playing this character, we're letting it rip, and then I switch to another character. You know what'd be awesome, dude? Is if you could literally switch between all 3 of the characters. Like around like Genshin where you're basically stuck with like using one at a time. If you could like queue up their alt and that would give them like, they would do their alt and then they would give you like 5 seconds of actually playing on the battlefield with you. And that way, if you had characters that gave you cooldown for your alts and just let them rip constantly, you would have a net higher damage. Maybe there's characters that buff you in a way that makes that better. But no, this is really interesting. I don't know what it is in terms of like what it'll actually end up being. Like, is this an open world exploration game? Is this just like an RPG with gacha? What is it? Is this co-op in any way? Regardless, I like the world a lot. Like when they had that scene where they showed, what is it? This looks cute. This whole thing, I'm into this. This open vista, it's more weird terrain. This also is different. We're not used to seeing that. I'm in. When will we get it? Probably in 5 years. And then Genshin will ban it. Genshin will put it through legal hell probably, but hopefully not. Hopefully not. We can only pray, maybe. Oh. It is this on console? No, Android and PC. Yeah, but it'll get there. Like it's insane that it will absolutely get there. I promise you, Lance, to get to. If it is in any way successful, it always goes to console immediately. In fact, what they probably are doing, because that game looks polished, but not like excessive, you know, like Genshin has a huge ass map, that kind of thing. I do think they're probably waiting for it to be successful on PC, therefore then to let like Microsoft or Sony then maybe bid over it. That'd be my guess of what they could potentially want to do. Of course, we have to let this woman talk for 20 years. Vesper, get the fuck out here, goddamn you. Unless she's right there. Is that where Vesper is? It is. She's chilling by the weird roulette table. But no, I had a good find. That looked very interesting. That actually looked like the most adjacent to Genshin game that I've seen. Whereas like Tower of Fantasy is very MMO based. But yes, but no, that looked more like Genshin's exploration RPG kind of vibe. I just wonder how much RPG can truly exist within a gacha-like system, or is it not? Is it not trying to be gacha? I assume it's yeah. Maybe it's just trying to be cosmetic because there's like an umbrella. There's like weird like you can swing with a rope. It's not out yet. They just released their PV and gameplay trailer May 28th. Wow, that's real. Oh, shit. That's super recent. Holy. It's not even out on beta yet. Yeah, I was about to say. I would not expect that to be out this year, or like maybe even like beginning of like midway through next year, maybe. I would love for it to be out soon. But to me, yeah, knowing the hellscape that like Tower of Fantasy was in for such a long time, like it's still not out. Same thing with Blue Protocol. They have a bad habit of being like, this exists too, and then just never like working like, oh my god, this is actually, we're working on it so much. Oddity says, are we able to do things? Are we good, Vesper? Have you talked enough? Nope. We just have to chill, I guess. We're gonna keep doing this. We'll go. But you can switch between characters, and its gameplay has been taken from Punisher Grey Raven, which this company currently is current ARPG game. Okay, interesting. Grey Raven, huh? I think they show switch characters here if you know. Oh, did they? Is that what they switched to, a girl or switched to the dude there? Because if that's the case, then I'm like really interested, because that's really cool polarity. Also, like Tower of Fantasy, and I think this is where I'm kind of like, when I seen the like umbrella, and when I seen the going invisible and like climbing up a wall and stuff, I was like, that looks dope. But at the same time, part of me is like, when I first seen Tower of Fantasy, you see people like riding a bike and it looks super smooth. But then when you see it now, it's like, ooh, that didn't have enough development, or that had some complications to where like you were falling through the world a bunch. They couldn't do it like that. So I love the idea of like the umbrella, the like Spider-Maning essentially, just with like a portal in the air essentially. I love the idea of climbing up a wall. I just wonder if that is what it's going to look like in the base game, because there's so many times when you see stuff and it's like, that's so cool, this is going to be the Genshin killer, but then you get it and you're like, this is not what they showed. Oh, they overestimated their ability a good bit here. But yeah, but no, if you can switch characters like that, I really, maybe just because more games are becoming more pastel-y and like pastel-y and like bright and like that kind of stuff, and granted, I always prefer that, but in this age where that seems to be becoming more and more prevalent, I actually don't mind that's taking a step back. I actually don't mind that's, yeah, that we're like, that's more of a darker mid-tone kind of range. It's an open world exploration game like Genshin with combat, just that the combat will be complex like Punisher Grey Raven. What is Punisher Grey Raven, if you don't mind me asking already? Is it like a RPG, or is it like a beat 'em up? Is it a like a third-person beat-em-up kind of game, but it's only for Android? Because I haven't heard about it. But I haven't heard about a lot of things. So yeah. Already says, and if they made the enemies and AI like the like that of the PGR, fighting enemies and bosses will get very, very hard. Yeah, no, I think that'll be nice. Again, I think people love difficulty if there's a reason to do it, and it's not like the only metric of. There's a lot of like negative things that come with difficulty, where like if the enemy hits too hard, then it incentivizes tankiness. But if the enemy usually also has a ton of health, then it requires you to have a ton of damage. And then if you can't have both, then you have to choose one or the other, and that's where this difficulty kind of becomes a wash, at least to me. But I think if they have, like, that's one thing that people want in Genshin right now. I think difficulty is done best when they trickle it out slowly, like a rhythmic pace. Whereas I feel like if they just drop this huge hard raid boss where like nobody could beat him day one, I feel like that would make people be like, oh, so this is what we're scaling towards, and you're like, shit, and that may put too much strain on the system that they have right now. Although granted, I don't know if it's going to be like artifacts. Honestly, I think that's something that Genshin, like, that some people should take from Genshin, is the idea of like artifacts. New artifacts with every coming like every now and again expansion or like update, because it changes up build diversity. Like that's fun. That's really cool, you know. But also, yeah, who knows? I'll keep my eye on that game. That game looks really interesting. Although with it just being announced, I feel like it's gonna be probably 2 years out. It would be awesome if it wasn't. Again, I'm really hoping for one of these games, one of these like quote unquote competitors to Genshin, to be like a what is it called? Early access kind of game. Like a game where people are like, we're going to build this for you in the way that you want, slowly together with you, rather than it be like this we're gonna build it and then we're eventually gonna release it, and it's either gonna sink or swim, because I feel like that's not what people want right now from Genshin. Like people I think would appreciate a developer taking the time to add the things that they want and fortify the things that the other games that they're currently playing aren't doing. But that requires a lot of communication, and it seems like developers always struggle with that layer of communication. Whether it's because it's delayed, I don't know. But yeah. Red says, for once, I really appreciate one of the anime... Oh, I lost the comment. For once, I really appreciate one of these anime games not being gacha or heavily monetized, and just to be a good ARPG that you just buy and play. Well, that's the thing. Red. I think those games do exist. Like there was that techno version of like this exactly kind of like I think it was. Well, I think it might not have had the ability for you to switch, but yeah, there was like this techno vampire kind of like futuristic, kind of like post-apocalyptic game that existed recently this year, and I don't think many people. I think people liked it, but I don't know many people who played it. I don't know if it made a ton of money, etc. And not to say that, like, again, the hope has always been to me that it would be cool if we could get a game that consistently gives content. Like if Genshin, like what do you call it, stayed how it was, to where it was a free-to-play game, you could get a lot of the characters right now. If you just got the season pass, or sorry, Welcome Moon, you'd be kind of taken care of. But they kept all of the what do you call it, events. It'd be one of the best examples of like paid as a service kind of early access, slowly trickling out kind of games that actually utilizes like its success, kind of like Fortnite did, where it's like hired a bunch of people, started making content, etc. Except Fortnite also did the scarcity thing, which I get. Scarcity makes people move, but I think it like, again, it'd be insane. It's the same thing as like Ark Survival Evolved. Like Ark has so many ways to engage with that game. Same thing with like, that's one of the reasons why people value Bethesda games, which I don't think anyone really talks about, which is the reason why so many people like, especially PC people who are on PC who love Bethesda games, is because you're basically buying like a game that enables 6 different types of games, or like insane like floods of content every week with the modding community. So you're not just buying the game, you're buying the potential that the game has for other fun, goofy things to partake in. Like, it's a meme that people spend most time modding Bethesda games than playing them. But it's because it's just like, pick your poison. You're going to have your own update, you're going to have your own DLC, you're going to have your own quest line with varying degrees of quality, but still. So to me, I don't know, I really would hope that if the game does... I don't actually know what we're talking about to warrant that. I really hope that the game does... I've never had it. I myself wiped this hard on a memory or like a thought process. I got taken somewhere and I was gonna come back and I completely lost it. It is what it is. Go and see now on you guys. Sorry. Oh right, we were talking about the monetization thing. Oh yeah. Like, to me, I think there's games that do like the, hey, you can have it all and it's free. Or not free, but you can have a fully fledged game that's just by itself contained. But I don't know if many people actually hunt for that. Yeah. I understand why they are mostly mobile. I just don't. Oh no, I agree with the not liking the mobile thing. Like, but to me, that was the thing that Genshin kind of proved to me, is that you don't need to be like strictly mobile, which was quite kind of nice. And also, it was that like to me, I don't think the argument for like mobile never made sense. In terms of like restriction of content, it's like, again, I'm learning about this in a book right now. It's the main book I'm reading right now, but there is such a huge thing within the human mind about scarcity, which is this idea of like anything that is going to go away becomes infinitely more valuable than the thing that is going to be there when you don't have it. So for instance, when you get a phone call from somebody, one of the reasons why you quickly go to talk and like hear someone out is because it's more urgent than the person right in front of you. Same thing as like anything that people perceive or want makes it like, same thing as the toilet paper fiasco back in the day with the whole COVID thing. Like that's scarcity in its entirety. It's the only thing that people started to get freaked out, and randomly a commodity that was kind of everywhere became really, really rare, even though it didn't. They just upped production of it and they were good to go. So yeah, but there's just, simply to put, there's just a huge level of of that in the game. And I think most gacha, any sort of monetary game, tries to leverage that scarcity idea far too much, frankly. But yeah. But no, I think I would. I like that now mobile games, because beforehand I don't think it was a one-way street, Red. You know what I mean? I think beforehand we would have just never gotten any mobile games on PC or PS4, despite it seems like an easy port, and we wouldn't be able to participate in games that our friends were playing. You know, to me, like, mobile game access is also in a way like crossplay and being able to play with all these kinds of people. Now, granted, companies use that against you, which I think is what you don't like, is that, you know, scarcity, or like mobile games have these restrictions that make the game feel that way. I just don't think that that's what it is. I don't think in any way a mobile restricts like data access, anything like that. I think you could literally you can easily, this has been something that's existed forever. You can literally download and take off a download. You can like uninstall a DLC, reinstall a DLC. All that stuff exists perfectly within games. It has existed for years. It's the idea that it's this thing that's going to go away. It's this thing that, it's the only reason that to me is, and it's also like fraught within all psychology within marketing. It's the main thing I think everybody uses, and it has some of the most freakish response from human beings. This idea of like, it's going to go away, so I have to get in now. And I'm sure you know that, by the way. I'm not talking like as if I'm telling you this for the first time. But to me, Alone It says, I got into the new phone game today called Counterside, and I'm enjoying. What's it about, Alone City? Let me hear about it. What's it about? Counterside. Okay. It seems like I want to say Counter Strike, but that's probably not it at all. Melee. There we go. Where's the little crab leg? Hattie says, put in the gaming channel, probably with the company, with the developers for the game, is that they are bad at marketing. Even the PGR, the marketing is abysmal, unlike Honkai's. Yeah. Well, man, that's the thing. Like, I know a lot of people that... I don't know. There's a market for people who want to make Genshin like change, and to an extent in which I think if you were to be like, if they would have reached out to content creators and been like, hey, do you want to like play test this game, or like just play it for like 15 minutes or an hour or whatever, go through a quick demo that they have literally queued up. I think so many content creators have been like, yeah. Granted, I think content creators probably would want to get paid, which kind of makes some sense if they're like making a ton of money off of showcasing their game and whatnot. But no, that's interesting, man. I wonder, because their marketing is not so good, I wonder if I feel like I almost want to make a video about it so I could tell people about it. But also, I don't know if we should add more crazy shit on our plate. But I would like to, I think that could be a fun video, like the top 3 Genshin competitors that look the most interesting. A problem with the no marketing, lol, even the PRG is that. That's how the Wuthering Waves came into the public. Koro Games and developer were constantly in touch with YouTubers. Chaotic. Oh, perfect. Okay, yeah, man, that's awesome. But I also leaves me a little worried though, because I wonder what that. I wonder why. Best way I could put it. I wonder why they're in that kind of whole scene. Like, I wonder what, like, do they not have enough money as residuals to like pay for advertisements maybe, or are they just being careful with, no, let's keep our money, because we don't have a Genshin, we're not raking in that much money. I'm curious, man. To me, like you said, I'm excited for it. I'm curious what it'll be in the end, But also, I'm in my head right now. It's bad to think about live on streaming. But I'm wondering if we should cover it in some way, But also, a part of me is like, we probably shouldn't think about that yet. I do think it could be fun to see what people think, though, because we do have, in a weird way, a Genshin audience. It's very weird. I was always better about making videos that I knew people would eventually want. So if I look back at my catalog, there's some of those videos that have like 10 to 20 to 30K views. So like a part of me wonders if that'd be fun, because I think a lot of people were I was pretty negative towards Genshin, especially towards the end period. So I feel like people who are sticking around watching me were probably in that same boat about being unhappy with the current state of the game and such. Red says, yeah, I just feel like a dying breed of gamer. People that grew up with games just being games and not heavily monetized. Profit first kind of game designed is how modern gaming. Yeah, I don't know if that's the case. I think everybody is in the space of like, if I could pay less, or like, I hate greed. I don't like when people like overly monetize. I think that's what the mass majority of people are in. I just think that there's a different thing here. So it's not just that games are monetized that people despise, but it's the other thing that people despise, I think, more, which is being bored and having nothing to do. So when you like, yeah, I think a lot of people complain about the games that are sold as like quote unquote a high profit or a high content value, meaning like Bethesda games, or largely what is it called? Ubisoft games. Like a lot of people hate Ubisoft games because sure they have things to do, but they're not fun to do. They're work to do. They're unenjoyable to do. Whereas if you have content that actually feels fresh and new, and I think a lot of that is taking content and slowly giving it to your audience, not slow enough to the point in which they're like starving constantly, which is what Genshin does, but to the extent in which you're constantly making it so that they don't overlook other things. Like if you were to think about if you were to have a Bethesda game, but then you were to give basically the consumer enough things that they could easily do them every day, and you maybe even start off with the things that you know most people would want to do the most, and then you started trickling out like the collectibles within like 2 years of its life cycle. Then you're like, hey, there's these collectibles that will give you buffs. There's reason to get them. I think people would actually do the collectibles. I think right now in most open world games, most people don't do the collectibles because they're boring to do, and there's no reason to do them, and there's nothing to get to do them. So yeah, but I don't think you're a dying breed. I think it's just it depends on what you dislike in terms of what do you dislike more. Do you want a game that has some monetization that also constantly updates itself and has something to do and things and reasons to do it? This game really doesn't exist because most games don't do the whole sentence I just said. And then there's games that are like one and done. They're made. But this is the way I feel, Red. When I have a game that I love to bits, like Fable, like Shadows of the Damned, like so many of these games, I want to play more of them. I'm almost sad when I get to the end of them because I'm like, or when I start to get to the end of it, I start to realize that I'm about to completely close the game, and I kind of stop playing because I start being like, well, if I'm gonna have to stop anyway, I might as well stop now. That's kind of me as a fucking weird personality trait though. But ladies and gentlemen, I'll be right back. I just watch them. But I also want to talk to you guys about Shadows of the Damned. Okay? Right when we come back. Holy shit, I'm dehydrated as hell. Whew. What do you call it? Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk to you guys about this since I read it. Okay, let me drink some water before I get into it, because golly, I'm like, yeah, real not good right now. As always, I feel a little bit alone in my excitement for a game that I love to pieces called Shadows of the Damned. Okay, so I read an article that if anyone knows Shadows of the Damned, I'm not sure if you knew this, but I didn't. Love that game, but apparently Pseudo51, which is the makers of Let It Die, Killer is Dead, I think is also maybe one of them. Regardless, they're the people that made Let It Die. Grassroots Manufacturer, I think, is his team. Maybe. Anyways, they made Trev Strikes Again, No More Heroes, all that stuff. Pseudo51 is rife with all that. But apparently, the story of Shadows of the Damned was where Pseudo51 was basically trying to get this project greenlit, And he kept trying to pitch it to everybody, all these companies, and no one would greenlight it. But then finally, they took it to EA, big bad EA, and they got it greenlit. But they got him to change like so many things, like so many things, to where it became like a shell of what it was. And Pseudo51 is like noted saying, I don't even think they, like when they said they were interested in the game, I don't even think they were interested in the game because they changed so much of it. I feel like they maybe were only interested in like my title, or my people who have reverence for my kind of games, etc. Now granted, I love the game to bits, so I wonder what was his like vision, and what was EA's being like, well, let's try this and let's try that. I think it's what EA probably was pushing them to be more of like a Resident Evil kind of feel. I could see that being where they were pushing really hard. I wonder how much of the story was like that. Anyways, regardless, apparently, it's funny because recently Grasshopper Manufacturer, they say this, remember I made a video a while back saying there could be Shadows of the Dam 2. But recently Grasshopper Manufacturer actually came into the possession in 2021, which is almost the exact same time when they started taking a step back from Let It Die, when Let It Die was almost completed. And they basically, Grasshopper Manufacturer got the license to Shadows of the Damned. And I think that's the game that they're currently working on. There was a hint in like Trev Strikes Again as that being something. And with No More Heroes having been concluded, then that's that. I think that's maybe what they're working on. But to me, this leaves me with like a question of, okay, this has a high probability that this is what Pseudo51, Grasshopper Manufacturer, the people who made Let It Die, are working on. That's interesting. Also, it's terrifying because that thought of like, I love Shadows of the Damned. What part of it did I love? Did I like the one that EA made? Because the thing that was charming about Shadows of the Damned to me was the bosses, the absurdity, and Garcia and Johnson. And there was that clip in Trev Strikes Again, where it like showed like a seemingly Garcia like running through like a hell portal into the underworld, and Johnson like fell off and like started falling through the earth and then became like a full version of himself. That's a little scary to me because I really liked I think everybody who loves that game, Shadows of the Damned, loves the relationship between Garcia and Johnson, and then like the idea of like going to literal hell itself to save the woman you love. But like to me, that's the craziest part of it all, and I really hope that, because there's that I lean towards, I think they're like Garcia's gone, and if anything, it becomes a less of a story about Garcia saving his wife, which is like the fucking ruler of hell. Also, so much weird lore implication. That game is so cool. That game is like the coolest fucking. If you've never played Shadows of the Dam, it's so cool. The ideas and the weirdness behind it is like the love of his life is like a fucking ex-combatant that is like the. Yeah, very reminiscent of Let It Die, actually, in some cases. Pseudo51 has like a thing with the underworld and shit. But I'm just so excited to see what happens with that. But man, I'm worried. I'm really worried that like I think it might be a story of how Johnson like gets his way back to Garcia. But they also say something interesting. In the article where they interview Pseudo51, who recently, Grasshopper Manufacturer recently came into the rights of Shadows of the Damned. They got the publishing of it. They got like all of the assets, etc. I wonder if they said that they're going to build out the series, so they're currently working on the entry for that series. So I wonder if they're planning on like, okay, maybe the first game is just to get people back into it with Johnson, Shadows of the Damned, all that, and then eventually they're going to jump off of that and make like a true successor to Shadows of the Damned, but this time through Pseudo51's vision without having to compromise to EA's kind of like demands. But I read that this week when I had a little bit of time. And that made me so happy, man. I was so juiced. I was like, oh my God, which I already kind of knew. With Trev Strikes Again, there was a little bit of weirdness there, where like there was like rumblings about that kind of Shadows of the Damned 2. We had seen a little clip of like Johnson, but it almost looked like it was made to be like a mini game. Like Johnson was like a mobile game where you see Johnson like fighting and eating skulls, because that was a part of Shadows of the Damned 2. In true Pseudo51 fashion, there was like random shit that would constantly happen. Like you'd be fighting, you'd be like, doing a Resident Evil like gameplay loop, and then eventually you'd be like playing a side scroller RPG kind of, not RPG, a side scroller kind of old game where you're like shooting little fireballs out of your mouth like Mario. bunch of those kinds of things. Also, that game was beautifully dark. It was just like the right amount of unsettling and creepy and a little bit sinister. But for me, I never found it like too creepy. It was always like the ideas of it was kind of nasty, a little bit grotesque. You know, classic kind of like Japanese horror almost, it seemed like. Where things get a little nasty, but they're not like genuinely like, you know, disgusting or horrifying. It's like, eee, at most. I'm just disgruntled. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, again, I think most people are in the same camp as you, where they don't like the monetary practices seemingly becoming prevalent. But then there's also people who constantly keep buying into the kind of monetary practices, and then they're kind of like, well, shit. I mean, if these companies are designed to make money, I kind of sucks, but I kind of get it, even though I wish it wasn't that way. Another thing, it says, it's basically about this world going into chaos and this company that is infamous, that is on the edge of bankruptcy. Then you have this unit that goes out and fights these threats. I haven't gotten for. Gotcha. Okay, so it's a mobile game. What is the style of it, Loneston? If you don't mind me asking, what is it about? Is it like a classic? It almost sounds like a squadron kind of game. Like, what is that game called? Not Spec Ops. I don't know what it's called. It's like you like tell a person to go over there, and they go over there, and you kind of spread people out in that way. I forget what it's called. Audi says, and I have sent you a video for the PGR. You can compare to Honkai gameplay and find out how different and tough it is. Oh, okay. I definitely could see it being tough. To me, I'm not sure if I really want a game that's like astronomically harder than Genshin. I guess I wouldn't mind if there was. To me, the one thing, man, when everyone, I honestly don't know. I don't know. Like, yeah, I've asked this to you guys, I think, beforehand. Maybe it was actually last stream. But like, if you could choose between difficulty or what is it called? Investment, maybe, things to do, meaningful content to accomplish. Progression, that's what I want. That's what I mean. That's a word. If you could choose between difficulty or progression, you have to choose one. Which one would you choose? And what I mean by difficult, and let's say it's average. So average difficulty, not like terrible difficulty, but like, you know, progress, something to do, and reasons to do it. Not just like nothing. Like we could like collect collectibles, you know, fucking no, but like something to be done. Red says, I'm the opposite, lol. I like collectibles. Nearly all of the old platforming games I played and loved as a kid were collectibles. I mean, to this day, my favorite game was... Yeah, but Red, recently, out of the last game that you've played, have you gotten every single collectible? Because, like, to me, yeah, like when you're like, that's one of those things that's hilarious. When like I have the same reverence and love for Jack and Daxter, but Ratchet and Clank as well. But Ratchet and Clank was also one of those games where we were bored kids, you know, or we had more time as children, and we're like, fuck it, I'm doing this for all of my time, you know. Ghost Recon? Question mark? What's that? What do you mean? I mean, I would want both. You can't have both. You have to have one or the other. You have to choose. Do you want a game that's just like a what do you call it? A difficulty thing, like kind of like a Dark Souls idea, except instead of having all the nice RPG progression, new weapons, leveling up, you just have, you know, one line. You have this boss with limited moveset that you know you can beat him, but when you beat him, you'll feel like you mapped out everything in your mind. You'll be good to go. But then there's progression. And I feel like progression, I don't think people have done progression well for a long time. And I think even when it's done well, I think it could be done better. And it's funny because I know that sounds incredibly, and I'm sorry for that, but it sounds kind of narcissistic. Because like people are like, oh, who the fuck are you? But I genuinely think it's like, at least for me, like I think back at games like Fable. Like Fable, where like just buying up the city, like buying up the whole fucking city was awesome. Like going on your adventure and getting various different clothes and shit, and then making mannequins and like putting them all up. That was awesome. Having like, oh, I'm gonna have a wife here. Let's do that. Boom. Like, yeah, like there was infinite cool factor to that feeling of like, oh, that makes me have a use to get this or that. And yeah, and like people like get the wrong idea of like collectibles of like, oh, well, you know, we just need to give people like a nice like statuette holder to hold all these like bobbleheads from Bethesda games. But Bethesda, I think, got it right once. But Bethesda killed it with their collectible game. Do you guys remember the dragon skulls in Skyrim? Like the dragon priest masks? That's awesome. You'd run around, you'd kill all of them, you get them, then you put them in this like special faraway slot, and then you get this wooden one that gave you like a stupid cool power up. It wasn't that great, but it was still something. And also there was like a proof of your effort. The only thing they were missing in that instance is actually having some sort of way to hold it, because you'd have houses and shit, or some sort of person that could hold your dragon mask, which I guess you could. You could have statues at some point, but yeah, man, like to me that's the one thing that games don't do well. Like the progression has always been skill tree, and then what happens when you've done the skill tree, dude? Like what are we doing? Like what are we doing? Like if you had like an economy system, where like again like the Fable idea, but Fable also had a point where it didn't make any sense, where basically you'd have a bunch of money and then you'd be like, cool, well, neat, and then you'd be just making millions every day with nothing to spend it on. Whereas if they had like this economy system and if you they had like this overarching extremely expensive like thing that like, and they had like 5 of them, just super easy, give it to some coder, repaint a shirt in gold, put it away in like a corner of the map, and then let it be found essentially. That would have so much more incentive to do that, and that would also give you like a way to like, okay, you, in order to make this much money, you literally need to buy up every single town, every single piece of equipment, and still play for like 24 hours, or let's not say that, say 15 hours, to accrue enough wealth to be able to buy these crazy things. That to me is like the feeling of progression, and now most people may not even do that, but at least there's things to do and there's a good reason to do them, you know. But maybe that's a subjective. Maybe some people are like, well, that's not a reason for me. I would hate that. And I'm like, all right, well, I may not. That's my thing. Maybe it is just a game that's for me. But every game that I've seen add this, I don't think has been poorly received, you know? So I don't think this is just me. Could be. No, to be fair. Already says, look at Dark Souls. You know, Dark Souls is a good example of difficulty and having a decent amount of progression, but I don't know if it like, again, progression oftentimes in games like Dark Souls, or even to some extent like Skyrim, is do it again, but this time slightly different, which is essentially like, oh, well, instead of playing a melee character, you could play a mage. Yes. And I'm like, yeah. You can. That is something. I'm not trying to dissuade that. I'm just saying that to me, it's kind of a cheap cop out for content, or a cheap cop out for time investment. That doesn't mean people don't love it, and that doesn't mean I don't even like it. I like it a lot, but it does leave me to be like, that's not what I mean by progression. I mean by like to have a brand new thing to do, with things and reasons to do it. Whereas I don't feel like most games cover that base usually, at least to me. Because like I don't know people who are going back and playing Dark Souls 3, let's say, who haven't already played it 6 times, and if they are, they're usually doing it out of like a sense of benevolence or love, for the idea, for the game. So it's because they like the game so much that they're playing it. It's not because they're playing it because they've yet to have things to do and reasons to do them. They're just like, I liked what I did beforehand, I'm gonna play more of that thing I played beforehand. You know what I mean? That makes sense? So I'm talking about people who, like, when you're playing a game, you're like, this is worth doing, and I feel like I'm valued doing it. Not like, oh, I had fun time doing this once, and I'm going to do it again, and probably have maybe 80% of the same fun time, maybe a little bit less. And that's good enough, you know? That's not what I mean. Because, yeah, I feel like that's its own beast. Lone Secret says, I wouldn't say I would I would want harder content in Genshin. I just want more things to do in general. Like to start Genshin, I felt like so many things to do, but now doing the same thing every day. Yeah. Yes. I agree. I'm frank. I think it's everybody's feeling about Genshin right now. So they're just sure there's like arguable things to do, but there's not a lot of reasons to do them. Nor is there is it like fun to even do those things sometimes? Case in point, some of the events for people, you know. But for me, the one thing that like I find that I don't know how they're gonna fix, it's the meaninglessness sometimes of feeling Genshin. Like you have memories of fun times, sure, but that's it, you know. And again, like that to me is why I always talk about like the idea of if you had a village in like a first-person shooter game, like that's one thing that made me so sad about Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. I thought that'd be such a cool opportunity for them to have like, oh, you have like this thing called Brighthoof, and it's burned to shit. Like we've seen that in the E3 footage of like where it literally was turned to ruin. Wouldn't it be cool to like incentivize farming for money to some extent so that you could build back Brighthoof? But instead, it's like no, it's just a nice little hub area that you can just play. I'm like, okay, all right. I feel like there's a good opportunity there for make people feel like there's investment. For your thing, but not they didn't do that. They did not do that. Adity says, I mean, I would have a harder. I would want harder in Genshin, because no matter what, the story progresses. Will not be the fastest fast anyway. Genshin for me feels like an easy to less challenging. Yeah. I know, but also to me, I guess. Yeah, already for you specifically, for Genshin, you have to choose one. You can't have it all. Progression or challenge. And so when I say progression, I always mean things to do and reasons to do them. And let's say good things to do and good reasons to do them. Not just like you could do this because you could get money, like doing our weekly city bounties. It's like, yes, there is a reason to do them. Money. Yeah, we need money, but like. Ugh. It's not a fun thing to do, nor is it like, yeah. Ugh. Also, that was rough, by the way. Fighting that was painful. We got access to some things of need. We're just trying to get some shards or moon ore here. Oh, I guess we should play on. I'm not sure if this is gonna work in this way, but we are playing on intense. That's probably why we're getting our ass kicked a little bit. Shit. Lone Singed says, well, as far as gameplay to collect waifus and men, but you know waifus, and you make teams of 8 characters to take the waves of enemies, to take on waves of enemies. Okay, yeah. Lone Singed says, and like we were talking about before, why build up characters if we have no reason to use them? Like, yeah, there's a characters look cool, pretty, pleasant to look at, but what is the purpose? Are we striving for besides? But see, that's a thing, Lone Cynic. Like, if I think of a world where they made a Spiral Abyss 2.0 that was incredibly hard, like, I think that's already existing. Like, I think they're already trying to supplement difficulty within Spiral Abyss with each coming patch. Like, people who have a character team from the very beginning of the game who would go into Spiral Abyss now, I don't think many of them would be able to pack a punch outside of Ganyu, having Ganyu, etc. Actually, not true. Xiangling, Xingqiu, you'll have one team that's stacked. But the other team, I think will be tough. So I think they're moving away from that thing. I think they've already tried to, like, they're already trying to put difficulty in the game. And if I think of that world of, okay, here's some Spiral Abyss, maybe they add like a brand new challenging thing that would give you reason to get like the perfect artifacts, versus having like a instead of Serenity Pod, if we had a village to like build up and we can literally make it like beautiful, like Mondstadt. If we had events that stayed around, like we could every night, if we wanted to, we could do Theater Mechanicus. If there was like a random wave-based survival mode, like throwdown, showdown kind of thing, where it was just like just tons of combatants in an arena just fighting, and it was a great way to show your build. But we could do that every night. Maybe there's some primo gems to achieve that every night. Things like that. That to me would, if I could have one or the other of like progression of like things to do, or even just keeping the things that were already fun to do in the game permanently, versus like a harder Spiral Abyss. I personally would have just found more fun in finding things to do with you guys, etc. Because yeah, I think Spiral Abyss is already kind of, they're keep pushing it in that way of like, and of course it's not just difficulty, they're pushing it towards the, wishing for a character that's specific to the Spiral Abyss, being able to make it easier. But yeah, but just if I were to put if that's where you stand, I'm curious. But yeah, if I were to put, maybe you'd be like, okay, well that's too much on the progression side of things. Maybe we want, like, give me like 3 different types of end game difficulty scaling things. So I think I'm more on the end game content, just getting me anything that I can do and the reasons to do them. And I think there's other people who want something genuinely difficult, but I think that will become very monotonous very quickly. Like almost as Spiral Abyss already has. Like if Spiral Abyss didn't have Primo Gems, I don't know what would be the rate in people completing it. Like I think difficulty in games does not actually make it so that people can do it. Largely for like the mass player populace, I think most people with something being difficult will not do it because it's difficult. I think if it has something, I've seen sometimes it makes sense where people give like a golden skin or like a golden weapon or like a floating banner above your character or on your like a wristband on like over your bicep, things like that, which are like, hey, this person's done the thing that's hard. And maybe if they even incentivize a little bit of Primo Gems on it, maybe. But I don't think if we were in a surplus of Primo Gems or even just a decent amount of Primo Gems within Genshin, I don't know if people would be so drawn to Spiral Abyss. And frankly, I don't even think most people are. I think the vast majority of player bases versus per capita, I mean, of like people who just play the game to play the events, etc., and then people who participate in Spiral Abyss, I think it's significantly low. And I think that's maybe why they haven't added a Spiral Abyss 2.0 or only just have they started implementing new people. But that's my sense. Already says, I mean, I would want harder enemies in Genshin because no matter what the story, and like we were talking about, no, I agree with the like. There's no reason, like, there's nothing to do for our characters. But to me, what in my head, if I were to give like a solution to Genshin, I wouldn't say difficulty. I would say, give us things to do, because I think that's the mass majority of player base is the people who play like the events, who don't want. But also, I feel like that's the thing that I think everyone else is probably saying in your head a little bit, is the idea of like, well, you don't have to have one or the other. It's not very hard to make something hard. It's hard to make something like realistically hard and not just like bullshit, but to give the people like, oh, you want it hard? Okay, here's this. You know, it's funny because they did that at the very beginning of the game, where they have like different tiers of these bosses, these cube bosses, which were clear like concepts for bosses that they just never used because they were far too like challenging. So before you can make a difficult boss, if you guys remember the cube bosses, those were fucking mean. Yeah. I think the game completed 100% was Horizon Zero Dawn when it came to PC. The next game I plan to do with this is Elden Ring, Tomb Raider Legacy, and Underworld. Okay. Yeah, so I want to say okay, although Red, I have too many thoughts to ask back. So yeah, there are definitely people who like collectibles. So yeah, already says I'm just waiting for my new controller for Elden Ring and console type games. Yeah, man. Yeah. To me, it's funny because I see so many people like, there's so many good games out right now, guys. Everyone keeps bitching that there's no games, and I'm like, shut up. Shut your fucking mouth. Okay, I hate people who are like that. It's like, yeah, there's games for you that you like. I don't want to play a bunch of these weird indie games. I know they're great. I'm sure they're great. I don't want to. I don't want to do it right now. Maybe when I'm desperate, I will. All right, but stop. I seen that tweet right today. I was like, fuck you. What a great way to minimize people's like, I'm not really... I feel like there's not a lot of things to play right now, you know? At least things that I want to play. And they're like, oh, there's things to play. And I'm like, all right, asshole, I didn't mean anything. I meant things that I want to play. We look a little edgy. Just a little bit. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we've been talking a little bit overtime, actually. Holy shit. Artie says, oh yeah, just got an update. Maybe just a rumor, but yeah, Wuthering Waves might just get a beta in July. Oh, okay. Register may start in June itself, so keep your ear. I hope you yell at me. Man. When that time comes. Spiral Abyss is not getting harder, but it has always been the current new shiny character. Always meta. Yeah, I'm not sure if I subscribe to that already. I think people who have been playing the game for a long time, and which I think you and many people are one of, like, I think if you've been playing the game for 4 months, 5 months, I think, yeah, most things in the game, if you just know how to build your character, if you know how to invest your resin properly, I'm also curious how much money people have spent in the game versus their response to things being harder. But yeah, I have you been able to triple crown everything already, and how much money have you spent in the game? If you're comfortable responding with that, because to me that's, I don't know. I hear a lot of people say it's like it's not even hard anymore, but I'm like, yeah, but you've also been playing for a year and a half straight, and you've also been that's resin. I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about resin as one, and then two, it's like knowing how to build a character, which was probably the beginning of that year. So if I were to take you, or you started a brand new account now, and I were to put you in the new Spiral Abyss, not to say that you couldn't eventually beat it, because now you have a surplus of knowledge about how to gain power, how to get the right artifacts, how to build the right teams. But even just still, I think it would be a proper thing. Spiral Abyss does not exist. IMO, so boring. Even Honkai Impact Spiral Abyss is much more enjoyable. It says Red. Okay, I've never played Honkai Impact, so I don't know. Audi says, Honkai Spiral Abyss is more fun than Genshin. It's harder than Genshin. Oh yeah, there's a lot of things that are in Honkai that are just significantly better than Genshin. A lot of people say that, which I think I could largely understand based on just the service level of this having that and that not having that. Alonso gets to agree. Honkai Spiral Abyss is from the bit I played more fun. Yeah. Alright, says my point with the Spiral Abyss is that the location. It's just a circular arena that never changes. Okay. Already says, yeah, Honkai has the arena maze from Abyss. Is there different weather? I have been playing it since launch, actually. Only left in 2.3. I beat Spiral Abyss in 1.3. Left because I got burnt out. Okay, yeah, but see, my thing, what I'm trying to ask is do you if you were to start a brand new account, would you be able to beat it? Well, let's say within a patch, 2 patches. You have a month to get a lot of primo gems, all these things. So to me, I just don't know. Would have gotten to AR60 if not having stopped playing for 7 months. Yes, see, to me, I feel like you have a surplus. So when people say like the game is not hard, I think that's in a game that is literally the difficulty dependent on RNG of artifacts to some extent. Not always. You can get good characters and just know characters that are sequencing well, but also it's resin, like it's investment for your artifacts. So when people say the Spiral Abyss isn't hard, I'm like, it's not hard for you because you've invested so much time into getting resin and whatnot. Now, granted, I'm sure there's some esports person who could like math out the exact path to get it, but that's not what everyone does. So when a new person comes into the game, new-ish, say they've been here for the last 3 expansions, it's not that new, but still 3 months. I feel like they're like, what the fuck, dude? I can barely get like 5 stars. And also, is everyone here able to get 3 stars always first run? Like the exact first run? No resets. Talking full right through. So your character's that, you're like, because that to me is what determines something as being not hard, is if you can literally, you don't need to reset a bunch of times, and you have achieved the max star rating. I know whales who don't even do that. so to me, I'm like, I don't know if it's not hard. I think it can be easier, significantly easier, depending on your investment level in Genshin, as well as your ability to have an allegiance to basically mid-maxing, which not everybody is. So you could say it's easy for a set group of people, but yeah. Red says, I'm sitting on a 500-ish resin that keeps getting higher. I'll use it eventually. Yeah, you mean fragmented resin? Yeah. 500 though, golly. Adi said, a resin is there, but if you look at the Spiral Abyss enemies, every patch, and also Leyland's discoveries, I always benefit the new. No, I totally agree that the new, like, that's a part of, everyone knows that. Everyone knows that the Spiral Abyss is basically made to incentivize the new character. But I also know that, yeah, I don't think, like, the Spiral Abyss that we had to jump in back then, like, if I could take you, wipe your brain, get you to play Genshin as soon as Spiral Abyss was out. Let's say you have a couple characters, let's say you play for like 2 or 3 months. I have you there. And then I were to get you to, I wipe your brain again. I get you to play for another 3 or 4 months. And then now, basically, where you on the dot, the 3 and 4 months came here, would you be able to easily beat the Spiral Abyss now? or like without utilizing like content for guys, which kind of is intrinsic with games evolving. I don't know. I don't think so. I think the Spiral Abyss generally with the wolves that devour your health and drastically keep bringing you down, with Zhongli's shield getting kind of nerfed because of that, with these weird like chess piece things that can like punish you in certain ways, with bosses like Kensei having stupid more health. And if you don't have AoE characters, then you can't deal with the other variants of him, which split off into 3 instead of 1. Yeah, I don't think so. Audie says, I can beat it easy now rather than before. You think you could beat the game like if you had none of the investment now? I don't think so. I think unarguably Spiral Abyss is harder now than it was at the beginning of the game. Just because of the chess work, creatures, like this is not an argument. Like this is not a thing. Maybe you could argue that characters have been able to hit harder, in a sense, and that maybe that because the one thing that is unarguable is the Spiral Abyss, like the enemy's health is massive. Like what do you call it? Kensei's health is huge, like incredibly high compared to what we had beforehand, which is basically we never get to fight a boss in the beginning of the game. Lonskin says, I know I can't 3-star Spiral Abyss, but mainly because I can't be bothered. My characters are strong enough to do it. I can do it. But why do it only to get 50 Primo Gems? Talking about the 12th. Well, yeah, no, I agree. But that to me is like when so many people have the tendency to kind of be like, this is easy. And I think, well, if it is, then are you clearing it every time? No. Okay. Then what is the problem? Lack of incentive, which is what Lone Syndicate to me just which I think is the main problem, which is if there was like a new skin for your favorite character, Lone Syndicate, I'm sure as shit you'll be like, I would work for the fucking 12-star, but difficulty is not the problem. For most people, I mean, for vast majority of people have the idea that difficulty will be something that actually motivates them to do something, but there are games forever that have been difficulty focused, and that's not usually why we play video games. There's a reason why so many games are so successful, like Fortnite, even though people hate it to bits, why Minecraft, why all of these games, is because there's always these fed lines. Minecraft's probably the best example of like an actual sustainable investment on progression, which is basically you. But yeah. Already says because we have more info. No, that's what I mean though. That's why I wiped. Yeah, you're not allowed to take the info in the future because that's cheating. That's like. Yeah, that because basically it's a stacked deck. Like, yeah, if you could live your whole life again, you'd dominate, despite there maybe being challenges in your way. You know, I'm talking about if I were to completely take out all of your sense. If you were to take the Spiral Abyss has gotten harder. Maybe you could argue that characters have also been being able to do more damage. But I'm not even sure if I agree with that. I don't even think, like, I've seen a video recently that showed like the top DPSs, and they were the ones that came out right like a halfway point of Genshin. You know, like Eula and like Ganyu and Hu Tao and all these things. Like those people have not been dethroned drastically, with one exception to Kazuha. Kazuha is like the person who fucked up a lot of shit because he just is so goddamn good. Red says, I use the transient resin immediately, so I can't have... Oh, so I don't have to worry about it expiring. I have 5,000... Oh. According to... Oh, that's such a waste, Red. But I get it. You kind of just pop in and you spend it. It makes sense. But jeez. Also, more characters and more team compatibility within that. Yeah, but you have to get the character. Yeah, you have to get lucky on getting the characters also already. So as much as there are more characters, there's not, because you need to actually get lucky to get the characters. Like this is with the exception of both times you not having unlimited resources to buy, banners. I'm talking about like if I were to get free to play you versus free to play you now. I think free to play you now wouldn't work out as easy. But I can't wipe my head out from the. I know, but that's my whole point. Is that like because that's a stacked deck. It's like it's not the test does not determine whether the game is harder now, because it is offset by your knowledge of what you have learned. So it's not a fair comparison of if the game has truly gotten harder. Yeah. Lone Ticket says, "Is there?" If there was a skin for Bido locked behind Spiral Abyss, I'd go crazy. I would build Bennett, get my best character, and destroy. Yeah. See, like Timmy, that's my thought process, where I hear a lot of people talk about how they like want difficulty, and I think that's something that can be attained, but I don't think that is the thing. That's something I heard a lot of people say. Like MTash says that a lot, which I think I understand what he's saying, and I understand the idea of like, why are we building these characters? But I don't think that that's what people genuinely want. I think that's what people think they want, but then if you actually listen to them, it's just like, well, you could play Spiral Abyss. You could do this thing that quote unquote is the most challenging part of the game. It's not challenging enough. Okay, well, there's an event that most people can't even clear. Like that's happened. The last couple events with I can't think of them, but yeah, one of the last couple events, say 10, had to do with something that was difficult, and you only whales could achieve it, or you would have to dedicate like a couple hours to resetting it and getting the perfect combination to do it. And hey, you could make it even harder by not using the buffs. Like there's ways to aesthetically put difficulty in there. It's rewards and reasons to pursue those rewards. And also reasons to want to pursue the rewards. Like you can have a great incentive. Like you could get this Bido skin. It's a bad example. Lone Cynic would do anything for that. But you could get this Xing Cho skin. But it requires you to find 1,000 collectibles on the map, and there's no map for it at all. And MiHoYo's not going to help you. Now, maybe people would eventually be like, I'll chip away at it, but sure as shit, you're not like, yeah, I'm immediately going to go get 1,000 collectibles. No, that's so much. Some people would do it eventually. People are bored enough. But the point remains is that there's too much. Like, it doesn't matter the reward you have if the thing that you're doing is so shit to do that people just don't want to do it. So you need to have something that is fun to do, but then also to have something worth doing it. What is good, Undead? We missed you. I'm so sorry we're having to end the stream. I have to go exercise. my lovely people, hopefully you enjoy the rest of your day, night, and whatever. But yes, hopefully you all take care of yourself. I wish I could continue this conversation, although I'm very, very busy. There is luckily, there's a consolation prize. There is a Deathverse coming out right now. We missed you, Undead. Hopefully I can see you tomorrow. Wait, no, tomorrow's Wednesday. We're not going to be here tomorrow. We have Wednesdays off. Thursday. Hopefully I can see you then. But ladies and gentlemen, you got a Deathverse video coming out for you. It is just a thing. Have a great one. Thank you so much for stopping by. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. And enjoy the videos coming out right now. It's the Deathverse video.